It's the year 2024, and the Las Vegas Raiders are one of the worst franchises of all time. It's gotten so bad that post-Derek Carr, the quarterback position is in absolute shambles. And yes, they have bright spots like Brock Bowers, but we're stepping in, giving ourselves 5 years to rebuild. So other than winning a Super Bowl, we're going to try to replace the quarterback position and find our franchise guy. But I also want to win 2 AFC championships and rebuild the roster to a 90 overall. And the last one, just for good measure, is I want to make sure we have a winning record over the Kansas City Chiefs, but the 5-year rebuild of the Las Vegas Raiders starts right now. And so from 2025 to 2035 we go in only a couple days. First things up is, who do we re-sign across the board in this season? Who do we pay attention to? And there's not a lot of guys we want to bring back, so this job is easy here to start us all off. But Nate Hobbs is a guy that I do like. I do want to keep him around for 3 years. We're going to start with this offer here, nothing too crazy. Hopefully he's going to go ahead and accept this, and this is a little bit less than what we were expecting. And Travion Mooring out of TCU. I did like him coming out of college. He's another guy we do want to keep around. We're going to try to extend to him a 4-year offer, as he just needs the time to think it over. That's fine. But with somebody like Alexander Madison, they really want to come back. We're just not going to make it happen. But somebody like Divine Diabo in the middle, if this is the money that he's looking for, yeah, I'll be more than happy to give you an offer like this. But we do have $104 million in cap. The only problem is the motivations are very, very strong for all the free agents. This is going to be a tough rebuild here today. But when it comes to players to re-sign, that's it. And it's going to be a lot of guys maybe hitting free agency. But we are actually going to give Jordan Meredith an offer just to bring him back, see if he'll take with this and run just as a very good backup. And he's going to continue to sign. And though I like Harrison Bryant to this team, Harrison Bryant's not going to be the answer. Neither is Desmond Ridder. I still think that pickup for them was atrocious. They should have read and rided with Gardner Minshew the entire season long. Actually, maybe even Aiden O'Connell, just committed to one. But after we do go ahead to the next week, sign Morig, we have to look on to the next season. We have to look on to the off season here. Bobby Spillane. I do love Bobby Spillane from his time in Pittsburgh, but this is it. This is what we're looking at here. And we didn't make it anywhere. In fact, 5-12 was our final record. The mock drafts here, so that's going to be interesting to take a look at. But the problem is we didn't have anybody across the board. Glaze playing at right tackle's horrible. Brock Bowers is the only bright spot on this team. Maybe Miller. I do also like Jackson Powers Johnson. I think he's going to be a great addition to this line all throughout, but he's still hidden development, and that's horrible that he didn't get revealed. But a sneaky guy I like is Trey Tucker over there, and we let Gardner Minshew rock. Madison obviously may or may not be coming back. We'll still see with that, but this is a tough one right here. Max Crosby. Max Crosby, he is a trade candidate. But with realistic standings, this is what the bracket does look like. The Commanders made it, and the Vikings, Bears all made it, as well as wildcard teams on the one. On the other side, Steelers, Dolphins, and Chargers. I thought the Broncos were going to be able to maybe squeak their way in. Unfortunately not. But now that we know the bottom of the draft board, who does it have us taking at quarterback? And this is going to be an interesting one. Scrolling all the way down, it has us taking McMillan out of Arizona, so not going quarterback. But Shedeur Sanders and Jalen Milroe both off the board there. And Jalen Milroe going to the Cowboys, that one's a little bit surprising there. Where is the other quarterbacks? Only 2 off the board here. This cannot be right. Where is Quinn Ewers? And before the Super Bowl is here, we had one player make the Pro Bowl here. Have to check on Max Crosby, and he did. So at least we made it 2 guys get themselves to the Pro Bowl this year. But Brock Bowers did also get Offensive Rookie of the Year as well. Him at tight end is going to be a cheat code for us, but he may be the only weapon that we do have, as Max Crosby wins Linebacker of the Year. While Lamar Jackson won MVP, Saquon Barkley Offensive Player of the Year, as the Bills do win themselves the Super Bowl here. Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels, no surprise there at all, especially this late into the season. But now mock draft number 3 is here, and it has Travis Hunter falling all the way to us because Quinn Ewers to the Browns, Shedeur Sanders to the Saints. Travis Hunter would be incredible. Yes, Luther Burden's still there, also could be good. But with Travis Hunter, the ability to play corner and wide receiver all in one big playmaker, now that would be a massive difference for us. But starting off first in this offseason now, and the first offseason we're going to get, it's all about the coordinators. We have the Kansas City Chiefs playbook now. I think that's going to allow us with Brock Bowers. And yes, maybe a bad move, but we brought Antonio Pierce back to help with the defense. But to the re-sign period, and it's Bobby Spillane again. I just can't give him any money. Alexander Madison, another guy, I cannot give him any money at all either. Desmond Ridder would be interesting to bring back in some aspect. But Isaiah Palomalo, maybe out of USC, could come back on a 2-year deal. Not worth a lot, but 111 million in cap. This is going to be a fun offseason as long as we can make the right moves. But step number 1 is going to be committing to the rebuild and a first-round pick plus a bunch of thirds for Max Crosby from the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what they came with, and I decided to accept it. Interesting with all 3 of the third-round picks. I'm kind of excited to see what we can get for each one of those positions, and hopefully we'll win that trade. Because Max Crosby's a tough guy to lose, but we need to get rid of the money now to 133 in cap space. That is a beautiful thing. But heading into free agency, this is what everything looks like. And having a superstar X factor is a great way to go. A new weapon on our offense. On our defense, though, this is going to be tough. We have a lot of work to do here. But in free agency, this is who we targeted. And we gave some very competitive offers out to 2 top players. One is Javon Holland, but everybody gave out a competitive offer for him. We just gave out one of the biggest. But going down and looking through, it's a lot of the linebackers we're going after. Have to rebuild this linebacking core some way. And if we don't get Javon Holland, we can get DeMar Hamlin for cheap. Baron Browning, though, rushing off the edge would be beautiful for us as we're going to look forward. Fingers crossed, as we did put an offer out on Cam Akers to be our running back. I'm looking at it. Javon Holland signed Cam Akers, Kodu, and Tyrell Dodson, and DeMar Hamlin. So we got ourselves a pretty good one. Will Hernandez is going to be big. Have to get ourselves a guard. Cap room cut very quickly. But this is what we're going with next. And yes, Garrett Bowles, we're going to move him over to the right side. He's a little bit older still, though, the offensive line, building up more on the offensive line. But then Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields is an interesting one because we did not offer him a lot of money. I didn't. I only threw about 14 million out there. Titans and Giants did match. But what this would allow us to do is maybe not go quarterback here to start. Maybe our plans can go awry. Maybe we can lean on Justin Fields here just a little bit, but he didn't sign this time around and did not sign at all. It's the Giants. Yeah, we're not matching. They're going to give him a 4-year deal. No way. And the same with Garrett Bowles. There is no reason to match unless we just sit on this right here. We have the money to make this kind of move with Colton Miller on the other side, but we're in a true rebuild. We're not going to throw around crazy money. If that's the match, we'll take it. But as we move forward to our last day, we don't get him. That's absolutely fine, though. We do have some offers still on the board. Alexander Madison, I put him up there just in case. Bring back a guy who was already with us. But in day number 3, we had to extend an offer to some sort of tackle for us, and that is going to be Walker Little. And then a fullback in Patrick Ricard. If we could have him leading the way, that'd be nice, as well as come in and play a D tackle if that does work out for us. But mock draft number 4 did release, and now Travis Hunter is going off the board. Man, that sucks. It would be great to go ahead and get ourselves an absolute playmaker in Travis Hunter. Luther Burden, though, is still no joke. We need a receiver. Well, we need everybody. We'll take a look at it here in a second. Where do the quarterbacks go? This is what is scary. We also need a running back. But Jalen Milroe is a round 3-4 talent. I think all the quarterbacks are. If I remember correctly, I think all the quarterbacks are low in overall. Nick Scouton, the left end there. But Josh Connerly falling all the way to number 22. Is there a third quarterback even in this draft? Doesn't look like it right now. But if you look, all the quarterbacks are. All of the quarterbacks are round 3-4 talent. That's how this draft class all works. And so then what this really tells me is that all these quarterbacks, it's all about dev trait. That's what it's going to be between these guys here. It's going to be all about dev trait. And I like Cam Ward. I like Carson Beck. Jalen Milroe could also be good. Quinn Ewers really too. So we have all of these guys here. But free agency is over. And I think we had a very good class, just building out depth across the board. We couldn't go star power. Maybe Javon Holland, if you do categorize him as star power, is enough with him and Mooring in the back. Build the safeties first and the rest will follow. But it's going to be a competition between Leonard Ford and Jadeveon Clowney for that edge rusher spot. O'Shea Zimenez also coming in. But with this pick and with the way it's all set up, we're going to scout these guys even harder. We are going to make them our private workout. We may pick Luther Burden. We may pick McMillan. We may pick Travis Hunter if we can get him to play both sides of the ball for us. But after it's all said and done, this is what things do look like. Will Hernandez coming back from an injury. But our receiving core, Rashid Shaheed coming in is nice. But defense, This is where it gets rough. We're going to need to draft very well in the later rounds. Tyree Wilson, what happened? He could have been so unbelievably good, but I do like both of our corners. I think that's where we're going to find a little bit of growth, a little bit of success. Our safety, our secondary is built very well. Wilkins in the middle. At this point, he's just a contract we need to get rid of. But because of a winning streak from the Jaguars to end the season, the Patriots have the first pick in the draft, and they're going to go with Mason Graham. The big interior guy makes sense, but this is where it gets interesting. The Saints probably Shedeur Sanders here. They do go with the quarterback, but the Browns, is this a Travis Hunter or do they go quarterback? Please go quarterback, and they don't. They go with Travis Hunter, and they're going to make him one-dimensional. They're not going to have any fun with him, but we know his career is now over. We know Deion Sanders wouldn't allow it, and the Cowboys go defense with James Pierce off the board. Interesting because him and Abdul Carter back and forth, and so sitting here, this begs the question, do we go quarterback? Do we really put the effort in? Could we get one of these guys to fall? Maybe. Could we just scoop up the one that falls? Do we go with the top 5 talent in Luther Burden? If you remember Steelers franchise, that would be the move and a half. We do have Tyleik Williams at Ohio State. He's not going to be much. We do need an edge rusher. We need a linebacker. But I think Luther Burden is going to be the key to a lot of our success at receiver. The playmaker out of Missouri, top 5 talent. We're going to grab him as he's number 1 in true value. Oh boy. This is going to be good. 93 speed. He's going to be a stud. But because we didn't go quarterback, that's going to allow the Titans to take McMillan. They didn't go quarterback either. Will the Panthers go quarterback, or are all the quarterbacks going to fall? I'm not sure if there's really a team that needs a quarterback as the Panthers go Deion Walker. The Colts are going to go Will Campbell, a left tackle. Giants have Justin Fields, so they're not going to go quarterback. They're going to go Abdul Carter. But it's finally now a team. The New York Jets, they definitely need a quarterback, and they are going to go not. They're going to go corner, playing with Reed and with Sauce Gardner, Benjamin Morrison. And now I'm just interested to see when these quarterbacks are going to come off the board. Will Johnson up next, but finally Jalen Miller goes off the board. And actually the Seattle Seahawks, interesting one there. Jaguars go Kenneth Grant, but I think the Steelers obviously need a quarterback, so maybe they go Cam Ward. No, they go Nick Scouton, building up that defense even more, replacing Cam Hayward. Houston go Tyleik Williams, but our second pick is coming up, our second opportunity here, and we are sitting maybe on a potential quarterback here to build up our team around. That would be crazy to go multiple quarterbacks in a row, but this is where it's scaring me because there is a guy sitting here that I would just love to take. This would be the craziest start ever to a rebuild, but this man right here, Ashton Jeanty, out of Boise State. We know the Falcons don't need him, but the Chargers and the Ravens, both candidates. So we're going to move past this pick here. The Chargers, what is their biggest need? But the Chargers, they just re-signed J.K. Dobbins. Do they need another running back? Probably not, but they don't have a lot of depth there. And the Ravens had Derrick Henry, took a little bit of a hit, only has 1 year left on his deal. And so we did make a trade with the Chargers here. We gave him one of 3 third-round picks we had. This one just happened to be the Eagles. So we took the Eagles first and second, moved up 2 more. So in looking at it, we gave up Max Crosby, 3/3 of first for another first, and that's going to be Ashton Jeanty. Now, drafting a first-round running back, obviously always weird, but quarterbacks continue to fall here off the board. Ewers falling, Cam Ward falling, Carson Beck falling, Jackson Dart falling, Drew Aller, Newsomer, Dylan Gabriel. There's some quarterbacks down here that I think could work out for us, but maybe we missed the mark. But it's Ashton Jeanty. We draft one of the best running backs. This would be perfect for our roster. Please tell me he's good. 21 in true value. We drafted him at 26. Not bad. Hidden dev. Perfect. B-break tackle. That's what I need. That should definitely be an A. But this is how the first round finished up. Every single quarterback fell. And we have pick number 37. I don't think there's going to be any quarterbacks off the board. Maybe the Browns definitely could go quarterback of their own. So it'd be a wide receiver quarterback from us and them. Actually, I expect them here to take a quarterback, and they do in Quinn Ewers. So Quinn Ewers to the Browns and Travis Hunter to the Browns. Well, we may have just gotten ourselves Cam Ward and Luther Burden. I just really hope that Cam Ward's the man. I hope this is a quarterback that we can build our team around. Under pressure is huge. And he's 98 in true value. We knew he was going to be interesting, but hidden development. That's all I needed. That's all I wanted. Cam Ward, welcome to Las Vegas. Titans up next. They may go quarterback in their own right with McMillan, and now they go Malachi Starks. Okay, good pick there. But the second round is finishing up with not a lot of crazy picks, just a lot of running backs off the board. Travion Henderson going there, but you do see it up above. Amari Hampton, Ollie Gordon, Quinshawn Junkins, all in a quick succession. But the Patriots going Nick Singleton, Andrew Mabuka to the Cowboys, so he's going to stay in Texas. But in round number 3, we finally need to go linebacker, or at least some linebacker, and Deontay Lawson is here out of Alabama. But Nick Jackson out of Iowa, this is a sleeper pick for me. I'm sitting on him for right now, but could be good power moves, good finesse moves, great pursuit, and he can cover well. This guy seems like a sleeper for me, maybe a 4th round guy, but we are going to go with David Bailey out of Stanford as an edge rusher. This guy could be a hit or miss. I'm not too sure. 63 in true value, so it's a good one. Does not have a lot of speed, but as a true edge, hidden development, and that's all I could ask for. But now we're going to the interior with Dante Corleone with our other 3rd round pick. Not sure. I think he's going to be more of a bust type. 73 in true value. Actually, hidden development. Okay, so we got ourselves a player that could play in the interior. He's definitely not rocking number 2, but so far a very good draft for us as we do look on now to the 4th round. Shiloh Sanders going to the Bucs is hilarious. At a tight end, I do like Terrence Ferguson, but obviously we already have Mayer and Brock Bowers, obviously. But finally to the interior, we are grabbing ourselves a tackle. I'm not sure, and I feel like I've said that about every pick here, but the offensive line, especially the tackle spot, we didn't scout all too much. So how did we do on this one? And finally, we got ourselves a little bit of a bust. This is not good at the left tackle spot, but left tackles are hard to hit on, and so we always could do better here. Let's move right to the 5th round straight away, and this may be a reach, but I really want to get Nick Jackson off the board. I think at this point we're going to go for him. 64 in true value, drafted him at 133. That's what I needed there. That was the one dude when I was scouting, looking through, said, this number doesn't look quite right. Maybe we can make him work for us. That's going to be a hit. But maybe to play Brock Bowers in the slot. Maybe to play him in the slot, we draft Terrence Ferguson or Jake Bringstool out of Clemson. Both of those two very, very big fans of. Or do we build up the interior a little bit more in the 6th round? As with Bear Alexander, another guy, A Power Moves had him on the radar as well. Could this be one more massive hit? Maybe 68, and we took him at 165. Massive draft. This is why you scout. This is why you make your favorites list, and this is why you know exactly who you're looking for. Malcolm Pride heading over to the Rams. We did not draft any secondary, and we did it for a reason here. As the 7th round is going to pick with just somebody interesting. We're going to look at quarterbacks first. Anyone is still on the board. As KJ Jefferson's a day 3 guy. Caden Slater's a scrambler. Obviously, we drafted Cam Ward. He would be a great backup. But we already have Gardner Minshew there. Running backs off the board. Harry Parrish out of Ole Miss went undrafted, which is crazy to me. Jordan James out of Oregon, also like him. Katron Allen out of Penn State, a great truck. But if we did draft Ashton Genty, we need a big elusive back. And so what about 40 time? Well, Roman Hemby, really good player out of Maryland. Parrish is there. But instead, we are going to go Julian Fleming. Need another weapon on our offensive side. We just don't have a deep room, and that's good. Lacks decent speed, but still, at 6'2", he could be just a roster guy for us. A late round receiver's never going to hurt. I expect him to be like a 68, 69 overall, but that's definitely better than some of the receivers we have on our rosters. It looks like we drafted pretty well as we're up to an 83 overall. And the draft recap. This could be a good one. Could be a bad one as we hit with Burden. Genty's a hit. Oh my goodness. Looking down, even Julian Fleming's a 70 overall. We drafted so unbelievably well. It looks like there's a lot of good players deep in this draft here. Raheem Sanders out of South Carolina, 69 overall, 71 for Daniel Jackson. Wow. Kyron Lacey. So this draft class was deep. Wasn't the best, but it was deep. As a quarterback, Jackson Dart going to the Steelers. Why does that fit so unbelievably well? Garrett Newsom, 68 overall. Quinshawn Junkins looking very good. As Aaron Willis, I was looking at him. He was down here, 70 overall. Would have been nice. Who was the best player in this draft, though? Pierce and Burden. Those two were the best, as Travis Hunter was actually a 78 overall. So who won, us or the Browns? That is the question here. They went Travis Hunter, then Quinn Ewers, then Rod Moore, Keldon Munn Jr. Missed there, but Taj Brooks, Harrison, PJ Williams, Thies, and Fairweather. So this is going to be very, very fun. That's going to be a team to watch out for. But the Seahawks also hit with Barrett Carter and Jalen Milroe. Didn't have a fourth or fifth. But with Cam Ward, I feel like we have to start him right away. We have no other way. But here, this is going to be our projected roster. I don't know how it's going to operate with the cuts all coming up. Our offensive line at right tackle is where we need the most work now. Where is Brock Bowers? There he is. I was worried about him disappearing. But 3 different rookies starting on the offensive side. On the defensive side, 2 rookies, maybe 4. We have Nick Jackson here, who could be getting playing time over Tyree Wilson. He's the same overall, could develop better. So why not? Tyree Wilson, can we consider him a bust yet? I think so. Run with 2 rookie edge rushers, rookie quarterback, rookie running back, rookie receiver, 2 rookie interior linemen. That's a lot of rookies across the board. That's very dangerous to a roster. Could it work out? We'll see. But as it all finished up in this look, Cam Ward, not too bad as rushing the ball. Ashton Genty, 4.6 yards per carry. He's going to be crazy. I'm so excited to see him play. How did Luther Burden do? Only 4 catches. But defensively, DeMar Hamlin is showing out. Even half a sack to his name with Christian Wilkins. Tackle for a loss. We got it there as well. Any interceptions from Isaiah Palomau, and he may make the roster because of that, but Christopher Smith, yeah, you're still not making it. And in a surprising cut, well, not exactly cut, in a surprising move, it's going to be Tyree Wilson absolutely leaving us. And a 3rd-round pick in return, so is he considered a bust? I would say so. I just see the rest of our team right now developing while we're paying him a lot to be a 25-year-old normal development player. It's time to move on, and that's why we got rid of Crosby as well. Brand new clearinghouse. That's the goal with this team. That's why I love to rebuild this team. But in a surprising cut, Paris Campbell no longer with the team. We're going to keep around Trey Tucker, and we are going to get rid of Terrace Marshall Jr., so we're going to leave 6 receivers on the roster. No, 5 receivers on the roster. And even though we only have 2 tight ends right now, we're going to need to pick one up. Trayvon Wesco. See you later. From here on out, we are going automated draft classes, but no more surprising cuts as the roster is going to be set, and that's going to see 3 different rookies playing. Walker Little on the one side, and then defensively, 2 rookies on the interior, 2 rookies at the edge rushers in the middle. Divine Diablo and Dodson have to play well for this defense to do anything at all. But we're going to go straight to mid-season and see if we need to make a move. And we do have some trade targets. But with our focus players laid out like this, we just spend all of our stat points to make sure this happens. Hopefully our guys can develop. Cam Ward already up 1. Luther Burden already up 1. But with rookies, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Week 6, not fully to the midseason mark. I just want to take a look at the mock draft here. Already set. Who does it has us taking? I've done a lot of scouting already, looking behind the scenes. Luke Rogers. That's what I'm leaning towards as well. So it's okay. It's doing a good job there. Going corner or middle linebacker. It's a strong, really strong corner class. But 4-4 at the midway point. Now, we're looking on to week number 9, and Cam Ward is ball. 21 touchdowns, 9 interceptions is a lot in star dev. I will definitely take that. What's Ashton Genty, though? That's the question. That's going to dictate a lot of our future progression here, as he's also star dev. So it may be a little bit weird about how much effort we put into him, but definitely a good player. Jacoby Myers still leads us in receiving. Luther Burden there. Brock Bowers, number 3, as 12 touchdowns for Jacoby Myers. Insane numbers from him. Defensively, though, do we have sacks? Are we getting sacks? No. That's what I was worried about. Just a little bit. Thought maybe we could use our young guys and get in. Nick Jackson not getting the pressure that we want. Dante Corleone not getting the pressure that we want. Bailey decently, but luckily our secondary is playing well enough. But I thought it was going to be, and it is. We are one of the worst rush defenses in the league. Pass defenses were not even great as well. Our defense just still so many problems. So we have 8 sacks on the year. One of the worst in the league. 7 picks, no fumbles. So we know where our errors are. But with where we are in the season, I don't want to change anything. Usually I like to make a move at the deadline, maybe change at the dead chart, but no. I'll see you at the end of the season. But one thing before we get there, and I forgot to mention this, is the re-signs. As we are not going to resign Jacoby Myers, and we are not going to resign Jack Jones for now. Colton Miller, though, yes, we're going to start giving him a very nice offer for us. He's a trade target, but 86 overall, 29 years old. This should be good for him. We're going to keep him until he's 32 years old, as that offer is going to be perfect for him. But Zamir White, no. Kader Kahu, yes, he will come back at age 26. We're going to give him a 2-year deal. And since he really wants to come back, we're going to start low with this offer. He says that's perfect. So he's going to be locked up till he's 28 for very cheap. But Thayer Murford is going to stay for another 2-year deal. And we're going to have so much cap to work with. This is going to be very, very interesting. Donald Parham, yes, he's going to come back. But we're going to keep money being a big factor for us. We're going to keep smart with how we spend. His bonus is just a little bit low. But for all of these veterans down here, we're going to let every single one walk. And that's exactly what I wanted. Build up the young squad, veterans on 1-year minimums. Hopefully this is enough as we're still going to now push the playoffs. But we're here at the end of the season and it's week 18 and we have the New England Patriots. And when we look at the playoff picture, we are sitting at number 7. So this is going to be fun. But I think I saw the Giants at the number 1 seed over there with Justin Fields. Yeah, that's wild. Weekly awards though, who got it for us here? As it was Damar Hamlin and Cam Ward, who got 5 touchdown passes. That is so awesome for us. But luckily, the Patriots are one of the worst teams in the league. So we're going to move past this game as hopefully it's an easy win. Fingers crossed here. Did we make the playoffs in our first full season? Cam Ward, Ashton Jeanty, Luther Burden. We have so many weapons. Nick Jackson, Davion Bailey, as we did make the wild card. And 9-8 in year number 1. I cannot argue with that. And looking at the stats, Cam Ward, 41 touchdown passes is elite. 17 interceptions, that's not elite. But rushing, Ashton Jeanty, 3.8 yards per carry. It's not a number we're quite proud of there. May work to switch up the offense just a little bit, but these two going crazy. Actually, this big 3 here, and Jakobi Meyers, because of the 17 touchdowns, because of the 1,120 yards, we have to bring him back at this point, right? But Ashton Jeanty adding him 334 receiving yards as well as huge as Rashid Shaheed sitting there also with decent numbers, 626 yards. Sacks though, David Bailey, the best. Nick Jackson, second best. And then Wilkins. And after that, Ogunjobi sitting behind a little bit. But Corleone and Bear, 2.5. But interceptions, 2 for Isaiah Palomau. And 3 for Damar Hamlin. So our backup safeties played great. Jack Jones, who we wanted to get rid of, he has 5 interceptions. And so that really changes things up with how we want to re-sign players. Don't want it to be a focus, though. In the playoffs, can't do it anyway. But mock draft did release. And corner is going to be a big position for us. But Manny Anthony, out of Ohio State, won the Heisman Trophy as a defensive player. That's wild there. Brian Nichols. Some really good corners are up here. We were looking at the guy out of Penn State. Lou Rogers, he fell just a bit. But they have us taking now Ralph Sands, a right tackle. Didn't put a lot of attention into the right tackles. Did to the left side of the line, though. But an MVP voting, Cam Ward finished at the top. Coach of the year, Brian Daboll is there. AFC numbers, though, for Offensive Player of the Year. We have Jakobi Meyers there. D-Hop going to the Chargers is ridiculous. DPOY, we're definitely not going to have somebody there. Is that 2 Quinnen Williams? No, it's Quincy and a Quinnen Williams. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Luther Burden won it over Cam Ward. So we have 2 there. Ashton Jeanty at number 7. How did Travis Hunter and Quinn Ewers do? So this combination, not as good as our combination there. So absolutely perfect. Defensive Player of the Year. They had Talek Williams and Benjamin Morrison, but Nick Jackson and David Bailey, both of these two. But running back, we're not going to have anybody on the list. Best wide receiver, we're going to have Myers. Luther Burden, unfortunately, didn't make the list either. No offensive lineman nor defensive lineman. Linebacker, the 2 rookie combinations finding themselves at 9 and 10. Defensive back, Riley Moss. Sneaky athleticism represent there. Vanilla Ice. And if it was Cooper DeJean, I think I'd fall out of my chair too. But those are the awards. We're in the wild card game. And it's going to be an opening drive touchdown for us. If we could somehow take down the Bills in this game, that'd be crazy. But the Bills respond with a score of their own here. We get a good drive together, put up another touchdown, and we have the lead going into halftime, and that does not last for long. But the fourth quarter is almost here, and it is. The Bills driving late. They get a field goal. And oh my gosh, what is this glitch as I jump in? Everybody's wearing the number 22, but it is a completion for Cam Ward getting out there. He's got an interception on the day. As this is so gross. This isn't even the draft class glitch. I have never seen this before, Brock Bowers in at tight end, blocking there, but it's completed to the outside to number 22 as he's tackled by number 22 and a host of 22s. Oh my goodness, there's an 11 in there as well. But we're going to watch from this angle here because I want to see how this drive does go in the best fashion. Minute 30, minute 17, first and goal. Now we take a sack here, Cam Moore does at the 1 yard line, and we do get the touchdown. A 0-yard touchdown to Brock Bowers, and so we need to stop the Bills here. Driving down the field as they do get a pass interference. No penalty for 15, so it's roughing the passer. Tutu Atwell, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, and they score to Dalton Kincaid at 10 seconds left, 6, and we lose. So an interesting one here in our first ever playoff game. What is that glitch? As we're going to move on to year number 2. And the Super Bowl is all set, and it's the Seahawks versus the Chiefs. The Seahawks have Jalen Milroe. That is horrible. Jalen Milroe and the Seattle Seahawks get to the Super Bowl. Could have been our quarterback, Jalen Milroe, but we decided to pass up on him to take Luther Burden. And don't get me wrong, Luther Burden, Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'll definitely take it. But how many Pro Bowlers did we get? That is a big question here. As Justin Fields getting to the Pro Bowl is nuts, but we have no running backs, maybe receivers, as we do have Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. When it comes to offensive linemen, none are there. Maybe some edge rushers, maybe some linebackers, maybe the young fellas in here, and that's definitely not going to happen. But Jack Jones, I feel like we have to bring him back now, maybe even just a 1-year deal to keep him around as Nick Singleton gets Returner of the Year, so that's pretty cool. But the season recap has the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes MVP. Luckily, Luther Burden's up there, but Cooper Kupp for Offensive Player of the Year, a little bit of a throwback in 2025. But to start the offseason, there is a mock draft, and we scouted up the corners and the left tackles. Manny Anthony, I think, is one of the best players in this class. Luke Rogers as well from Penn State as we scroll down. They have us taking Ralph Sands, and I'm just not sure about that pick at all. But to start the offseason, Taysom Hill does retire. Not a bad deal there. That's a decent one. But we finished the season at an 83 overall team. What does that mean for us in the long run? At an 83 overall roster, with $100 million in cap, we can make a splash this year. Try to make our run this year. Again, we have to compete against the Chiefs, compete against the Chargers, all the big teams. But with Jacoby Myers, especially 29 years old, 84 overall, $16 million, I can't do it. Trey Tucker, Luther Burden's up to a superstar now. I just can't do it. Jack Jones, on the other hand, a 1-year small-time deal to keep him around. I'm more than happy to make that deal. But he's not interested in signing, so we have to let two Pro Bowlers walk one more time. Looking through a lot of the old fellows here, we're going to let them all walk. Kickers are the only ones that we're really going to have to try to keep around. Punters too with AJ Cole. And I think it's a good job that we saved our money because Mark Andrews, wow, he would be an incredible pull. But before we really take a look at all of these guys here, there really is one thing that we do need to look at, and that is our lineup. What does our team look like here? And at left tackle, this is interesting. They wanted to move Colton Miller over. That's fine. I'll take it there, lining up like that. But offensively, we need another weapon. We need a big-name receiver. Simple as that. Brock Bowers is good. Michael Mayer's not going to continue to get developed for us as long as Brock Bowers is there. We could have Brock Bowers play the slot and bring in Mark Andrews. That would be a crazy idea. But it's our linebacking core. Nick Jackson dropped down to a normal dev. That does hurt us. But Bailey, though, staying a star dev. But in the secondary, Javon Holland at superstar is nice. In the middle, we need help as Bear Alexander and Corleone both drop down to bronze dev. So we move some pieces here to bring these two in. Will they continue to play in their positions? Maybe not. But to start this offseason, we are going to be moving on from Christian Wilkins. Now, why do we move on from him? Well, we owe him $30 million. His cap hit only is going to get worse for us, but getting a third and a fifth is going to help us in the long run. Again, building up this young roster, building up this young talent. We need to draft a lot of defense, and Christian Wilkins sitting there taking up $30 million of cap is just not going to cut it. And I think with free agency here, we're going to try to risk it. And first things first, we need to bring in a tackle. There's no weapons in this draft, so we'll probably need to draft a weapon, draft some linebackers as well, and how the scouting has all worked. But we are going to go after two middle linebackers in Micah McFadden and Nakobe Dean. Both of them are 3-4 linebackers in the interior. But also Keenan Wade from Colorado played his rookie year. Re-hit after signing only a 1-year deal, went undrafted all the way up to 77 overall. Travis Jones and then Nick Cross at the safety position. This is a good target, and maybe we'll get Mark Andrews. Hopefully we'll get Mark Andrews. Him and Brock Bowers. That could be Absolutely amazing. My signings, we got everybody here. It's just these two. It's Micah McFadden and Keaton Wade, both of them here in the middle. We're going to go forward one more day. We are going to add in Brandon Aubrey and AJ Cole. Please with these two. I would love to get them. Looking at it, we don't get either of them. So a little bit of a loss there at the linebacker spot, but Mark Andrews heading over our way is huge. And so day number 1 was really good to us here. We have Rasheed Walker, Jack Jones, and Kobe Dean, Kaiir Elam coming in. But then in our targeted space, we're sitting on a lot of good players here, and Josh Franklin Myers getting a big deal from the Broncos. We're going to let that happen. I don't want to compete for that unless we give a massive 1-year deal, bringing in some receivers as well. But the next Cowboys legend here sitting, he's a future starter. At least that's what Jerry Jones thinks. But to build up our receiver room just a little bit, we're going to give him just a small-time deal. Jacoby Myers does go to the Bucs. So does Mike Evans. Wow, so they have Chris Godwin there too. But after we did go ahead and get our specialists in AJ Cole and Brandon Aubrey, everybody else is going to be just more depth onto the roster. It's as simple as that. There really is no big name players that we can go ahead and go after at this point. But because we found success, there's a way where we can offer a lot of veterans here, like Eric Armstead, Derrick Henry, throw them 1 year, just $1.4 million deals. But something like this with Juwan Jennings, $1.7 million, $600,000, you'd think would be a horrible deal. It maybe is, but he may sit on it till the end and accept it as we do move here to the final day of free agency. But first, our last mock draft, as the Cowboys being the worst team in the league, is not on my bingo card here. These corners, all of them first-round talents. Are there any more first-round talents at corner? We're going to have to look as Jake Weiner. Funny name, bad pick, not going to work for us. We're definitely not going to right tackle now that we've brought in Rashaad Walker. We spent the money. And here's the best part is a lot of 1-year deals. So Mark Andrews, we're going to go all in with him this year. Maybe that would be the thing to do it for us. We put either Brock Bauer into the slot, play him more at receiver, flex him around, 2 tight end sets. Has it ever been used like this in the NFL? But the goal is to get to a 90 overall roster over 10 years. Can we get there? We have a ton of guys here targeted, a ton of veterans, and we threw out a ton of offers. And so when this free agency is all said and done, we may have a ton of guys to cut on cut days. Juszczyk, Juwan Jennings, and Josh Oliver are the only ones sitting here. As what a deep free agency class that we did just get. But with Arden Key being the last addition, we're just going to look now to the end of free agency. And so this is the recap. Mark Andrews, maybe a crazy idea, but we're going to try to make it happen. Juszczyk coming in, Rasheed Walker, Jack Jones, Derrick Henry even signing with us, Nakobe Dean, Kaiir Elam. We have depth across the board here, but I do like some of the young guys coming in. Like Corey Foreman, he's going to be an edge rusher for us. So Marvin Leal's an edge rusher. He's going to be an end for us. But with the draft all finishing up, this is what we are doing. And Brock Bowers is going to be tight end number 2, wide receiver number 3. He will also be our slot receiver. And so it's going to be interesting to see what this all does. But the draft, obviously, we still have to go through that and have to go through cuts. But our team at 84 is looking good with a lot of money still to play with, $50 million in cap. We're going to be able to sign some of these big names or maybe give second contracts here. But Hobbs, Jones, Elam, Kahonu on the secondary. It's going to make things very good for us. Our defensive line does need a little bit of work. Same with our middle linebacking core. But when it comes to prospects, before we go in, Carter Rett, it's crazy to think he's a round 1-2 talent as a top 5 pick. Yeah. Not our guy here. Looking through, look at this left tackle here. Rashawn Washington, round 1-2. We did a good job avoiding these guys as we're looking at the top 100. We'll finish off with Ramon Larson. But we did do something crazy. Scouting the corners, a top 5 guy in round 2 and 3. This is our guy. And we looked at the other Penn State corner, Luke Rogers. I was talking about him a lot. I liked him a lot, but no. It's Randy Alexander, who's a top 5 talent, and we're definitely going to select him no matter what. If we have a chance, he can't mess up that. But when it comes to guys we're going to scout, there is going to be some linebackers. That's what we're going to go after. And Larry Evans is the first one. Big linebacker at a TCU that is a absolute beast. But then Jason Rathman next to him. These two could be very, very good. But then I do want to do one edge rusher, but it's going to be a later edge rusher. I know that's not usually what you want for private workouts, but we need to start planning for very, very deep in the draft. We're not going to have guys who hit. This is going to be the problem with these generated draft classes. Focus on right now the linebacking groups, and hopefully we can make it work. And this year we're not picking until number 20. That went against or almost win against the Bills. Would have tanked us even more in the draft, but it's the Dallas Cowboys going Arthur McGee. Right off rip. Patriots picked 1 last year, 2 this year. Hey, they're getting better. But then the Colts, are they going to go quarterback here? No. And if I remember correctly, there were no good quarterbacks in this draft. None that I really liked. Maybe a late round guy that we'll take. But Cochran off the board here, as it is going to be Brian Nichols, the first one of these corners off the board. And it should go corner, 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 as they are going to go Manny Anthony, the Heisman Trophy winner, and then the Chargers for Luke Rodgers. Now, all we have to do now, cross our fingers, because we're going to look ahead. Hopefully, our top 5 other Penn State corner is there. As I'm looking across, doesn't look like anybody big was off the board. As Carter Rett fell in the draft from a top 5 pick all the way to number 11, but there's no point in waiting around. I mean, we could trade back, so I'm going to take a look at that first, but I don't want to risk it too much here, and I've made the mistake before, and that's what I'm most worried about here. But I'm looking at him too. He doesn't look that crazy. There's really nothing that truly stands out to me, that he's just a hidden top 5 talent. But we're going to take him just because I want to make sure that our team is set, as he broke almost combine records here with how well he performed. Randy Alexander, welcome to the squad. 5 in true value. He's a normal dev player, but he'll definitely get time on the field for us if he is as good as what he says. And was that a wasted pick? I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, as we continue to look forward now into the second round, that getting good players is all that matters, because now we have trade assets. We have guys that can be moving around, as Bowden is around 1 as well. But it looked like Roland Sims, one of the guys we did scout, really a bust, but in the middle linebacker spots, Larry Evans and Jason Rathman, both round 1 to talents. The question is, which one do we want to go with here? If we want awareness, it's going to be Rathman. Power moves is a big difference there. Finesse moves, pursuit. It has Larry Evans all over it. But if we want better coverage, it's going to be Jason Rathman. And in the middle, if we want a guy who can play kind of a sub linebacker look, looks like it may be Rathman a little bit more. But if we want power, it really is, do we want a field general or do we want a run stopper? And so with that, we'll take it to the physicals. Looking at these 2 guys here, elite speed, elite jumping. It looks like he's our guy. Jason Rathman, 6'3", 231. Welcome to the team. Fingers crossed, hidden dev. We'll need that there. So we got the number 5 best player and the number 47 is hidden dev, 91 speed middle linebacker. But we do need to build up our receiving core just a little bit. And a deep threat out of USC, Tyrone Culliver, could be our round 3 receiver, as we just missed a little bit. He's fast, he's good. Rank at 93, we got him at 66, so there are going to be some issues with him. Maybe a low 69, that's a rough one. But we have another 3rd round pick. And we have another 3rd round pick on top of that. That's what I love about this draft. We're going to have the ability to pick guys that we want. And we still have Avery Rice, who is sitting here as a round 1 talent in the slot. Do we take him? Because the corners we scouted very well, and there's still a lot of good ones on the board. And so I wish that it did work, but we're going to take Jerry Bowers now, and he was definitely a miss. Our scouting department, other than corners, we didn't really get much look at anybody. And so maybe we can just get a hit in this 3rd round. We tried receiver, we tried strong safety, and John Randall fell. He fell deep into this draft, but I just can't bring myself to take him. I can't bring myself to be that guy. Chase Knight, also a tight end that I liked. But the other one I liked was an undrafted guy at 6'6", and I actually like Santiago Felix better. But hopefully we can hit with Donovan Blackman, a bigger guy, 3'18". Maybe he could be good. No, it was another bust for us. We just can't seem to hit in this 3rd round. The Eagles trade with and for Max Crosby feels like it's coming back to bite us right now. As I forgot, we have a 4th 3rd round pick. Can we just get one of these to go our way? I'm tempted just to draft the corner just to say, hey, we're chilling right now. We're good. Because there is still round 1 talent sitting here in Avery Rice. And I just hope it could be Kyle Folds. Please be the man that I need you to be here. This needs to be a hit for us, as it's a massive hit. A number 9 in true value, 90 over. Whoa, he's going to play middle linebacker for us. He is going to be the man. Maybe we just need to get rid of Nakobe Dean. Oh my goodness. Our linebacking room looks phenomenal now. Folds is legit, and we got him in round number 3. Are you kidding me? This is why I love the draft. It's so much fun. Please tell me Rice is still there, because at this point, I'm just going to take him. Feel very, very good about what we're doing. Unfortunately not, so we have to really figure this out. As in the 4th round, Braden Tomlinson may be on the inside. Not the big bust, but he may not make the roster. But John Randall slipped this much in the draft all the way down to projected round 1, round 2 talent. We are going to take him here in the 5th just because I see some of these guys fall and it still works out. So does he have NFL speed? The answer to that, yeah, like 89 speed isn't bad. And we may have ourselves a decent player. We just know he's not going to be hidden dev. We'll be the ones to risk it there, but with another pick. But I'm just happy with how things have turned out. As you know, we will get another bust here. Unfortunate, obviously, with John Randall and him. We now move to the 6th round. Don't think we have a 7th round pick, but we are going to draft a quarterback. I want to see how Don Kirkman is going to play, and not good. Not very good at all. And so this draft is going to be all over the place for us, as it will not be the 7th round incoming. We do pick in the 7th, as we do have some of our favorites on the board. But Austin Bonds at 6'3", 210. Hit power is good. Zone coverage, just not the best. More of an in-the-box type of linebacker. That's what we're going to do next. We'll see if he makes the roster. Probably not, but the draft is over. It was a up and down roller coaster ride, it felt like. And so how did it go? The draft recap, we're heading 86 players on the roster, as it was very hit or miss here. 78 to start from Randy Alexander is amazing. Then 73 is good from Jason Rathman. He'll eventually see the field. Tyrone Culliver, not bad from the receiver position. Folds is a 67 overall. And then from there, practice squad guys across the board. John Randall wasn't the worst in the world, but there were some late hidden gems. Frank Hunter, 72. But Sal Martin, one of the tight ends I did like 74 overall. But we're already at cuts for this offseason into now the preseason. And 49-20 is a good score looking at the stats here from this. 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. He is him. Cam Ward is definitely him. Ashton Genty, 4.7 yards per carry receiving. Luther Burden putting up good numbers. What I care about is that linebacking core. 4 sacks for Bailey. That's what I need to see. 2 interceptions for Nakobe Dean. I think we're going to run with him as starter for now. But in a play, I didn't even realize Jerry Bowers is a hidden development. And I don't know what his hidden dev is. But we are going to keep him on the roster just to see. I mean, what's the harm in that? And so Isaiah Pau-Mau, he will be off the roster. But we still need a lot more cuts to make. That is just not a good look for us. And so Devontae Burnett, we're going to run with Corey Foreman. We're going to run with David Bailey. Devontae Burnett, he's going to be sent down. At linebacker, Divine Diablo is out. We're going to run with these two here, but I do like Jason Rathman a lot. But at right, and Donovan Blackman, the rookie, he's going to go to the practice squad. But in the running back group, Jordan James from Oregon, actually one of the guys you consider drafting, he's going to be out. So this is going to be our running back group, and I really like this gang. With one more cut needed, it's not going to come from the quarterback position, but actually looking at it, it might. At the wide receiver position, can we make any more cuts here? No, we're running with 5. It's actually going to come from the tight end grouping. There is only 1 tight end. No, we need to keep 5 tight ends. No, we can run with 4. We'll go 1 tight end out. Mayer is probably going to be the cut man because I want speed at the tight end position. And so we're going to let him go. Michael Mayer, surprising number there. But in our second full year in 2026, well, the 2027 season, that's when the Super Bowl is finishing up. This is the roster that we're rolling with. Brock Bowers is going to play everywhere. That is how we're going to run this team. That's how we're going to develop it. And that's going to be interesting. But you see it here full in the interior. Rathman over there. He's actually a 74. So would it be worth it to do this? Part of me says absolutely yes. But our secondary looks good. Our big guy Alexander in there, he will be playing slot corner for us. So he will definitely get time. The sub linebacker Rathman, he's 91 speed linebacker. That's where he needs to play. As slot receiver will be Brock Bowers. The only problem is our defense at an 88 overall is going to be an issue. But we are going to push now to the midseason mark. But 3-4 is where we're at. And the Chargers are 3-5. So our division, how are we looking here? It's actually Denver in first place. And that's not what we want to see at all. 3-4 though, that's where we were last year as well. So not much improvement, but not much fall behind as we're 9th in passing yards. But 3 interceptions, that's it. Cam Ward is cooking, running the ball. Ashton Genty leading the way. But Brock Bowers in receiving yards is putting up great numbers. 2 tight ends leading the way for us is huge. But Luther Burden kind of falling off a little bit. Rashid Shaheed, I wish Luther Burden got the ball more, but still 4 touchdowns for him. As this is really the crew I want catching the ball, and he's very replaceable. The only thing that shocks me is the most amount of sacks are coming from the interior, not the outside. Miller hasn't let up a sack yet, but it looks like this year we're getting a little bit better on the pass rush from Bear Alexander and David Bailey from that whole crew. But we have 5 interceptions, no 6 interceptions across the board. Well, but leaving us this year in free agency, 1 will be Mark Andrews, Rashid Shaheed, Jack Jones. Andre James is probably the one major guy that we do need to bring back when looking at this whole crew. But Brock Bowers, that option is going to be big. We're probably going to let him walk, then bring him back, or let him get to his 5th year and we can negotiate with him. Hopefully the second. But Andre James, first things first, he wants cash. And do I want to give him the money? Absolutely not. But we're going to try with this here, $4.5 million, as long as you can increase the pay. But again, at the point, I don't think we're going to stop or make any big trades. We're going to move on to the end of the season. And even though we started the season 3-4, we finished 7-10. 3 straight losses to finish the season: Chiefs, Chargers, and Browns. And that Browns one probably hurt more than ever because of Quinn Ewers. But Cam Ward still balled out, rushing the ball. It's just not Genty running the football. 2 rushes, 10 yards, or 2 rushes, 2 yards. That's it. Brock Bowers balling out, though. So she's the Heat. And so this is how things did finish up. And the nice thing is the Browns didn't make the playoffs either. So I'm a little bit happy with that. But the Patriots, wow, 9-7, a little bit surprising there. Here's the full playoff bracket on the other side. The Giants were the 1 seed last year. Now it goes back to the Packers, like it was in year number 1, but then you got the Lions and the Eagles, Cowboys, Seahawks are there again playing the Saints. So Jalen Milroe versus Shedeur Sanders over there. But it does mean that we are going to get a top pick. And the Giants went from being best to worst. And Justin McCauley, they're projected to get there. But who are we projected to get? It's going to be Hal Blackwell, left tackle. Are we going to replace Colton Miller like that, or just move Walker Little over? Great question. We could go quarterback, but there really is no need with that because of how well Cam Ward has been. But a lot of quarterbacks in this first round. As it's another strong safety named Bowers. Interesting there. Well, this is going to open the door for maybe some defensive ends to hopefully come our way. But when it does come to final stats, KJ Jefferson played a little bit, but it was Cam Ward. 43 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Completion percentage of 72 as Ashton Genty had a much better year than last year. Derrick Henry, a fall from grace coming over to us. But 2 tight ends over 1,000 yards. When was the last time you saw that? Even Luther Burden putting up good numbers. Basically 4 1,000-yard receivers is Mark Andrews at 16 touchdowns. Brock Bowers at 10. But when it comes to sacks, we didn't give up a lot of sacks. Defensively, though, 8 sacks from Bailey. Bear had 7. 6.5 from Eric Armstead, who did move into the middle over Levi on Zurike. But interceptions, Randy Alexander, he had 3. The Penn State rookie making an impact. Morrig, 2 from Rathman. But Kader Coe just didn't play much at all. Looking at the snap counts here, 300-ish snaps. That is it. Kyle Folds played a lot more snaps, but he only had 26 tackles on the year. And he didn't even get his depth trait revealed. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think he played enough for his depth trait. No, just under the mark. But when it comes to MVP, Cam Ward was there. Coach of the year, definitely not in that conversation. But we did not have an offensive player of the year. Devin Duvernay got in there for the Patriots. But Henley getting in for DPOY. We're not going to get a DPOY nod, I don't think. But 2 defensive rookie of the year nods are huge. 1 from Rathman, then Randy Alexander. Brian Nichols, the other corner, ended up winning it for the Titans. When it comes to best QB, we had number 5. Best running back, Ashton Genty, number 3. Receiver, we're definitely not going to have that. But tight end, you guys need your own awards. Defensive line, not going to happen. Linebacker, though, David Bailey making an impact. But to the Pro Bowl already, Genty did make it, and that's huge. But when it comes to receivers, Bo Melton making it was not in my bingo card. But Mark Andrews and Brock Bowers, we got both tight end slots. So the experiment kind of worked on the offensive side. 10 touchdowns, 16 touchdowns. It was a good year from them. When it comes to the defensive side of the football, I don't think we're going to have that many, but Bailey making it is nice. But when it comes to safeties, we're not going to have anybody in there either. So only a couple when it comes to guys who did make the Pro Bowl. But in an unexpected turn this season, this is what the playoffs turned out to be. 2 6 seeds getting all the way in. Jalen Milroe taking down Shedeur Sanders, but then the Cowboys coming in. And the Cowboys still led by Dak Prescott. The Lions, I think, still led by Jared Goff. Yeah, still led by Jared Goff. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. While Bo Nix gets himself to a Super Bowl. Imagine that. I wish I knew his overall. I may check that out later. But they did a good job going out and getting Colston Loveland there. But we're heading to the Super Bowl week and past. As looking at the season recap, the Dallas Cowboys walk away winners. Dak Prescott winning Super Bowl MVP. Matt LaFleur, Coach of the Year. Amon-Ra, OPOY, DPOY, Edgar and Cooper. I wish we could win that award for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, not the case. But it's a mock draft. We love good mock drafts here. We're going to look at a lot of them throughout these next 10 years. Jackie McBean. Funny name. Bad selection, more than likely. There's just some rushers that are going to be way more important to our development in our team. With these two leaving, that's the 2,000-yard players for us. Jack Jones this time, we're going to let him go as the re-sign period is here. And that's why we gave a lot of money to aging veterans. But Brock Bowers, we're going to have to offer him a bag and a half for as many years as he'll take. We're going to give him. But we are going to try here just to see if we can give Mark Andrews one big deal here. Have him re-sign with us, as he will stay for just one more year. So we're going to keep the experiment rolling. But with Rashid Shaheed, we're going to let him go. Jack Jones, Trey Tucker, sadly. But we just look on here. But before we look at the free agents, we're making a trade. We're moving away from James. And yes, we're getting rid of an offensive lineman that's been very good for us. But that's because I did see one free agent who is available. If I go here to sign free agents, it's Taylor Linderbaum. And we're going to offer the house. But I love that the interest is very good. We're going to go ahead and give him a 5-year deal. And I want to see where we do stand right now, all the way at the top. But it's crazy that Anthony Richardson hit free agency. Same with Bryce Young, Baker Mayfield, Will Levis. There's a lot of good quarterbacks that are down here. Gardner Minshew even still sitting there. Zach Wilson, maybe a backup for us, but KJ Jefferson played well. Ashton Genty is an 84 overall, so we don't need to go with any of these guys. Maybe we could offer Rashad White to be a backup, but we're just not deep at receiver. We need a receiver number 2, and Shaheed is gone. But we could go with Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp, Michael Pittman, Rashid Rice, though, 91 overall. What would an offer look like to him at his level if it was even just 1 year? And it looks like it's going to be impossible to get him. And so we made a major move. And that is going after Tyler Linderbaum, but also Rashid Rice. We're in there somewhere. We're in the hunt. I'm just going to leave that there. But then going after Quentin Johnson, Thor Rufus, Tommy Collins, and a couple of receivers just to build out a depth on our team. But it's all about Linderbaum, and we did get him, which is huge. And Quentin Johnson as well, so it's a good replacement for Shaheed. It's a jump ball guy. Maybe we should have gone for a faster one. But Rashid Rice going to the Carolina Panthers. Rip your career and a half here. With Linderbaum in, this is what our offensive line is going to look like. And Will Hernandez drops down. Still, though, a very, very good offensive line. And these two over here, absolute weapons. Receiving core did take that hit, but I maybe have a little bit of solution there. But Folds in at linebacker, Nick Jackson in at linebacker. We need some backup edge rushers, and we need some backup defensive linemen. But we're going to be starting Alexander. He didn't develop well, or he needed to develop better than what we had hoped. But Holland drops it down. Still, though, I think our team's good enough at an 85 overall, but we are still shooting for that 90. This is all we got in day number 1. And that's sad as day number 2 is here. But still, this is such a big hit. Our offensive line secure for the next 5 years. But as day number 2 moves on, DeForest Buckner's signing was a little bit out of left field. Gave him a 1-year deal, $10 million. He's going to take it in the interior. That's the price tag that we have to pay for it. But at the end of the day, a 1-year deal for him is going to be enough to help us out. Giving Isaiah Simmons out a deal, Brian Nesby, Grover Stewart, and Joe Mixon still. But this is the last group that we are going to target. A bunch of 1-year veterans here. This is what you need to do in that last day sitting forward. It's going to be a sim, but there is a mock draft, the last mock draft, and we pick at number 8. So it's going to be interesting, and it says we are going to go corner again. I don't know if we're going to go corner, but Connor Cooper is a bust and a half. Oh my goodness. Also, this is such a strong quarterback draft class that we may have the pick of the litter, especially when it comes to defensive players. But I would love to get Andrew Slater. But back to free agency with Joe Mixon still just not wanting to sign with us. So maybe now it is, and that's going to round out our free agency class. So we're going to look forward. We're not going to bring in anybody more, but Tyler Linderbaum, Joe Mixon, Quentin Johnson, DeForest Buckner, Tommy Collins, Chase Brown, and 2 receivers, Kadarius Toney and Juju Smith-Schuster, both on 1-year deals. But a lot of 1-year deals were going down. The only 2-year we gave was to Jalen Hyatt. We'll see which receivers make the roster and which receivers didn't. Did give a 2-year deal to Bo Richer and Brian Nesby, but overall a very good draft class could be up and coming to pair with this really good free agent class. With free agency finishing up, though, I want to take a look at the draft class. And like I said, quarterback strong, 3 in the top 5. Couple of the running backs here. It's a deep class, it seems like, except for what we're looking for on the offensive side. It is going to be tough, especially at the offensive and defensive line positions. Jason Spriggs, the only good player that we did scout. Maybe we trade back a little bit for him, but that means in the private workouts, we need to put money and put time where our mouth is. People that we are going to draft here, we're going to have to put energy into outside of Slater, and it's going to be Amari Evans. We're going to see how good he is there. And then we also put a little bit of time to see how good Percy Griffin is. He's a power rusher, but at 270, he could fit the position very, very well. Greg Clancy there too. And so this is what we're rolling with. Greg Clancy is the last one. But I hope we learned a little bit. And what we learned is that we could be cooked. That's what we're learning. We could be cooked in this draft. There's nobody good outside of the one corner I really do like. And if we want to let Nate Hobbs walk, that's a direction that we have to go in, or we could go in. But I think we may be in a position to trade back in this draft. But it's all going to be what the Giants do. And looking at it, they could probably go with a quarterback here. They need a bridge. They have 2 bridge guys right now. They need a young guy. But I think they're going to go for the big defensive tackle, as Calvin Peterson is off the board first, one of the quarterbacks. And 2 of the quarterbacks, hopefully, no, it's Slater. And so we probably are going to trade back. But we did trade back, and we traded with the Chiefs. We got a first-round pick in next year's draft as well. So we're moving back, and there's nobody I'm really that interested in taking. But here, picking now at number 25, we're going to wait till we get there, as the Chiefs do go with Greg Clancy. The guy we were looking at, and he was a second-round talent. So I think we did well by ourselves. And so we're just going to take the guaranteed talent in Jason Spriggs. Hopefully he works out well. Maybe a hidden development here. 42 in true value. We drafted him at 25. Hidden dev as 81 speed at 290 pounds. So many quarterbacks came off the board, and we pick right after JJ Bowers does go off the board. But here we're going out on a limb a little bit. I want to go with a corner that maybe could develop and play next to the guy we drafted last year, Jason French, and I really like him. He was a second, third round guy. Really kind of buried deep, maybe a little bit of a reach. Is 13 in true value. So it all worked out. A 95 speed from him. This is what I saw, right? And I looked at the zone coverage, the man coverage, both at B. Catching at A. Catching is one of the things you need to look for. But Jason French, welcome to the roster. But now we move forward to another year with 3 third-round picks. Third-round picks are just our favorite thing in the world. But we are going to go back with a safety. Jay Bernard, he's a little bit slower. That's one of the things I am worried about. But I think he could be good at 23 in true value. Normal dev, 84 speed is atrocious. And so maybe a hit, maybe a miss. I don't know what his overall is. I'm a little bit disappointed about it. But this is the guy I've been sitting on. Jerry Friedman. Now, he's got bad zone coverage, but everything else shows that he can be the guy. Bad coverage skills, but in the box is a true run stopper. 26 true value. Another guy in the top 30. We got 3 there. 85 speed in the middle. Hidden development. And we just continue to draft so unbelievably well, hit after hit, as we will move forward now at 86th pick. But to finish out the 3rd round, we do go running back here. It's number 6 in true value, normal development. Oh, that sucks. It's normal development. But playing behind Ashton Genty, we had Mixon there. Mixon's only going to be here for a year. I thought, hey, let's draft a guy I think is decent here. I'm drafting for talent at this point. Our linebacking core is a little hurt, a little bit not where we need it to be. But other than that, our team is looking very, very good. But look at this here from the right ends. Everybody is not good. Left inside, we do have a 3-4 talent, and we are going to take him. Steven Thompson, we did like him anyway. We're just going to take him just to fill out our roster a little bit. 95 in true value. It works out well. He is going to be a hidden development at his size. He is 250 pounds, a little bit lighter. Maybe we use him to rush off the edge. But to the 5th round we go. And so far, this team really, really developing the way we need. But in the 5th, we are going to go with a wide receiver. Chauncey Sheed could be another guy. We scouted up pretty well so far, so I'm trusting my favorites. I'm trusting the guys that I put the heart next to. What about him here? 126. So yes and maybe no here. Basically an average player, C- draft pick. But in the 6th, we are going with a big guy in the interior, Mike Gregory. He is 105. So we did a decent one there. Hidden development, somebody that we could maybe see make the roster. That's the thing. We're drafting guys that are making the roster. Now, granted, like 2 years on, are they making the roster? Absolutely not. That's just how this is all boiling out to be. But to finish it out, we are going with the safety in Will Reddick. I don't think we needed a safety for bodies, and I wanted to put him on our practice squad. Will he be a starter? Probably not, and may not even make the roster. He's lacks power, 85 speed. I don't even know if that's fast enough. Oh my goodness. How did we do? That's the biggest question. That's the win or the loss here. And wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that are going to get maybe playing time here. Jamar Robertson, the power back, in 90 speed power back is amazing. The strong safety, Jay Bernard at 75 overall. Yes, 84 speed is not what you want to see in a run support safety. But then Jeremy Friedman in the middle, 85 speed, and he's a 75 overall as well. Friedman, looking at him here, is a hidden development. Definitely could get playing time. And so having 4 linebackers across the board, maybe that makes Nakobe Dean a trade asset for us. But Spriggs is actually one of the lowest overalls, but he's also hidden dev. He's a true power rusher. I like his stats. But Jason French, I wish he was a guy that we could put in right away. I'm not quite sure if he is. At 76 overall, his speed is very good. Acceleration is good. It's the man coverage and zone coverage just have to be a little bit better. But with the preseason rolling, it's Jamar Robinson not looking good. Genty not looking good. KJ Jefferson actually doing the best, running the ball, but Brock Bowers being Brock Bowers. We didn't make Mark Andrews play all too much, but we have a very deep roster this year, and it's going to be a lot of different changes that we're going to have to make. One of them, Bailey, what are we going to do? Who's going to be his backup? Who's going to be rushing off the other side? Because we just haven't found an answer to that quite yet. But Jason Rathman, 2 interceptions. Maybe that's just more of a reason why we should stop playing with Nakobe Dean. But Bernard, the rookie, coming in, getting a pick as well. And Nick Jackson, he's got an interception. It doesn't have a sack. I just don't know how that's all played out to be his downs played. How did French do across the board? 200 downs play, only 10 tackles to his name. When it comes to the running back position first, it's going to be Chase Brown and Israel Awakanya maybe leaving this team. He's going to be a fringe cut guy. Tommy Collins, we're going to leave him there. The receiver position, they want me to get rid of Jalen Hyatt. We're not going to make that happen. Tight end, we're going to leave these 4 here. JC Davis, I really, really like him. I think he could be good for us. Unfortunately, though, he just will never make that mark so far. So they want me to get rid of Thayer Munford. He's going to be a fringe cut guy for us, but Jordan McFadden, he's going to be gone. And the same goes with Dylan McMahon. We have the depth there. Jordan Meredith over at center is good. Dylan Parham, we're going to leave him as the backup. Our offensive line is so unbelievably deep, as we maybe could cut DJ Glaze, but I like him at his age. And so more fringe cut guys. But here, we're going to leave in Travis Jones. As much as I would like to keep Cam Thomas, we are going to go ahead and cut him. I do agree with it here. And we're going to move on from Latu. But Boogie Basham, unfortunately, also will not make the roster. Reggie Grimes, he will be sent down to the practice squad. But with Mike Gregory being a hidden development, I don't know what hidden development he is, but we're going to go ahead and definitely not cut DeForest Buckner or Dante Corleone. We are going to move on from Blackman, send him down. Braden Tomlinson, we're going to send him down as well. So we're going to run with these 3. But Corey Foreman's not going to make our roster in the middle linebacker spot. Nakobe Dean definitely could be a guy we move on from in the trade room, like I said there. But I moved Kyle Folds out to the outside. Why? Because he may play over Nick Jackson in terms of playing on the field, but on the rush side, Nick Jackson may get the rushes. That'll let them both get on the field. David Bailey has been dominant on the other side of the football there. But Jeremy Feldman, I think he could be really good in the middle. I think Nakobe Dean is going to start the season as the 3rd string middle linebacker. But Jason French as well, that's going to be some interesting moves. We're not going to cut anybody out of our corner room, but safety rooms. We are deep, and we're going to cut Nick Cross and Quan Martin. We're going to let Jerry Bowers stay on this roster. And on the strong safety side, we're going to let all 3 of these guys stay, which means we need to cut 5 people still. My hope is that we can develop some of these guys, and develop them we will, as Cam Ward is actually up to a superstar X Factor, so that's huge for us. Winning or coming in 3rd place for MVP voting or wherever he finished up last year was needed. But our offensive line, we gave him as many weapons across that offensive line as possible, and maybe that receiver number 2 spot is our only big downfall. But Brock Bowers is here, and we're actually going to do this. Brock Bowers is playing wide receiver number 2. I don't know what else to do. I don't trust Quentin Johnson. I feel like Brock Bowers is a better asset there. But our defense, we have 3 rookies starting. As much as I would love to start Jones, we're starting Spriggs. Spriggs getting drafted where he is, he needs to be able to start for us. But we really hit on the hidden devs down here between Thompson, Gregory, and Spriggs. But Friedman will be playing that linebacker 2 spot. Nakobe Dean will be playing backup. But at corner, we have French on the one side and Alexander on the other. Nate Hobbs, I don't know how much longer he's going to stay around for us. If we can get Alexander to break out, that would be huge. That would be the most needed thing to keep this franchise alive, as we are sitting at an 84 overall. 88 overall offense We just need that wide receiver 2 spot, I think, covered up. But at the midseason mark, it's working. Our offense is shooting here. Different teams, 35-32, 35-17, 35-21, 45-13 against the Lions to start the year. We are exploding on teams right now. Pause, resume. But I do want to check out the stats at the midseason mark because we are 6-0 on the year. Cam Ward, good passing numbers, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The completion percentage is crazy. Ashton Genty's not running the ball very much at all. Cam Ward actually getting more carries than usual. Quentin Johnson is leading the way for us receiving. What's going on there? That's not what's supposed to happen. But you know what? I'm not mad at it. Definitely not mad at it, as Rathman in the middle has the most tackles. Bernard getting up there as well. But are sacks getting done? Yes. And Spriggs is a great asset. That's what we love to see. 4.5 sacks from him. Would love to see more to the forwards. Buckner, Bear, Alexander as well. But Spriggs in that spot is huge. As French, the rookie, 2 picks. Randy Alexander's got 1. And Cahoe also has another one. But the deflections are nice and 2 forced fumbles from Morgan. But our team is playing very, very well. But it's actually our defense being one of the best in the league in terms of opponents' rushing yards, passing yards, and points per game. We're just one of the worst rushing offenses. And I don't think that's going to change. But when it comes to national focus for scouting, because they are asking us here, we're putting it at defensive tackle. That's the only place we can put it. I need that looked at. But again, we make no changes. And I do want to check, though, how many snaps has Nakobe Dean played? Because if he hasn't played that much, he is a obvious trade candidate for us here. Looking over downs played, Nakobe Dean has only played 71 snaps. So, as much as I like you, I'm going to trade you. And the Jets gave us a very good offer. Another 3rd and a 4th next year for Nakobe Dean, so that's not bad. Building up draft capital is how we've built this roster so far. But soon, we're going to have to make a splash. We're going to have to get that big player in. But we are going to bring in Anthony Walker to just be a backup linebacker for us. But I think we're going to go straight from here to the end of the season. Who do we have to re-sign? It's Brock Bowers. And it's really only Brock Bowers. And we're going to give him an absolute banger of a contract. We're going to try for this at first. A massive bonus. And he's going to sign with that. But Mark Andrews, we're going to let walk. Jackson Powers-Johnson, we're going to re-sign him to a massive, massive deal. But Jackson Powers-Johnson's another long-term deal. This is where stuff is going to get scary. This is why we have to let Mark Andrews walk. This is why we have to win at important moments. Because eventually we're going to have to re-sign a lot of these guys. And that's where it's going to get scary. Like Luther Burden, Ashton Genty, and Cam Ward next year. The options are going to be up. Actually, Cam Ward's option might not be there, but we're moving forward. We're moving to the sim. As it's finishing up, we did go 13-4. That is exactly what we needed. Our defense still was only an 81 overall. I'm not sure as to why. Maybe it's Spriggs. He's holding us down. But our defense took a 180. We started now allowing the most amount of passing yards in the league. Still one of the best rush defenses in the league. A little bit not understanding that one there. Rush yards per game still not high, but passing yards 291.7 with 31.5 points per game. But this is what the playoff bracket does look like. And we didn't win our division at 13-4. Are you kidding me? This is the problem with the Raiders rebuild. Looking at the division that they are in, this is how it stacks up. 2 13-4 teams. We basically swapped with the Broncos, who played really well last year. But overall, a 14-3 team, three different 13-4 teams, and a 12-5. It is just a lopsided division all through and through. But I'm looking at the side of the screen here as we are going to check out the mock draft in a second. But it looks like Baker Mayfield got traded to the Falcons to be their starting quarterback. He was a New York Giant, did sign with the Giants behind Justin Fields. But looking at it here, who does it have us taking? I haven't really dove into the draft enough yet. We're looking at a wide receiver number 2. Yes, we're looking at a lot of weapons here as we do have 2 first-round picks, if you remember. And we go safety. Oh my goodness. But again, this is what the playoffs are looking at. As the 5th seed, we do play the Bills, and it's the second time we've played them now in the playoffs. And so can we get it done? We are going to jump into this game, not to play it, but to watch, as the sim is going to be our friend. Bills on their first drive will punch in a field goal. Our drive, we stall out, still get a field goal after all said and done. As the second quarter does come to a close, it's 3-3 for both of these teams now. And in what was a giant offensive battle, 2 of the best offenses in the league, this game's going to end, looks like maybe without a touchdown, as it's 3-9. And so we have to watch it. This is the drive to move forward, finally winning a playoff game here. We're better than Bills. We have a better record than the Bills. Allen across the middle. He's going to strike this one. It's incomplete. Great coverage there by the rookie French. But it's cool to see Jay Bernard playing in the middle as a sub linebacker. Rathman there as well. But Pritchard up to the top side here. Nahab's there too. They dump it off underneath. It's going to be an easy tackle. But they're at the 34-yard line here. This is a big 3rd and 6 early. Looks like we're going to go man coverage. Play it across here. Guy running behind. They're going to look maybe pump fake here. Allen across. Hitting. Good knockdown again. Great coverage there. That is going to be Hobbs. No, it's actually French there in coverage again with the knockdown. And so it's 4th and 6. French underneath. 37. That's Pritchard there too. Hobbs to the top side by himself. Allen looking to throw. He's going to throw it across the middle. Strike in a cover 4. 4 verticals. And this is going to be the season as it's going to go in for a touchdown. We can't make the tackle. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Dontavion Wicks in for the score. And so after a fair catch, it's our offense that has to get cooking. 2 superstar X factors in a tight end. Cam Ward across the middle. It's caught by Bowers, but all we need to do is get in field goal range. We are still very much in this game. That's why I don't like the ball starting at the 30-yard line. It's too quick. You just need 20 yards to maybe get into field goal range nowadays. But another good catch there. This one, Mark Andrews, and that's why we have our 2 tight ends. Look at the burden. I had to say that he's an afterthought, but he's really a 3rd man in this. Look here as we dump this one off to Quentin Johnson. But with Brandon Aubrey in, we're definitely in field goal range now. Ashton Genty probably will get the carry here. Ashton Genty looking for a hole. He's got a big one. 12 carries, 64 yards for him. And with Ashton Genty, he got down there again, so they're going to keep giving him the ball. And he may get into the end zone here, falling forward down at the 1. And so I guess we're going to try to run it in. Cam Ward handing off to Ashton Genty. Who would have thought these 3? But no, they make the tackle, and that's fine. We're going to let this clock run. But for some reason, we burned a timeout, and now we're going to run it in. This one, Genty getting in for the score. And we're going to need to watch the Bills go to work one more time. But this 2-point conversion is going to be huge. Luther Burden star, and then 2 X factors right behind him, looking, scrambling, throwing across. It's going to be caught. What a dart. And so again, it's up to our pass defense that led up an easy one last time to Dontavion Wicks. Josh Allen. Can we get the stop on him? He's going to throw this one across the middle. That's a big strike already. The clock's going to run. 23 seconds left. They're going to look now again. Maybe a quick pass out of bounds to stop the clock if any sort of rush gets on right away and they do throw it out. Maybe I played Madden too long when I can guess what the AI is going to do just by watching. But 16 seconds left. It's going to be trips. They're going to go 4 verticals here. Running back getting out. They're going to hit the running back. No, they throw it out on it. But Nate Hobbs up at the top. We have 4 different corners in. So Kalu is also in. Allen scrambling, throwing. He's going to be out of bounds. Good pass rush. And so now no time left. This is a Hail Mary situation here. Spriggs getting to the quarterback as it looks like hopefully we'll be moving on. And we are. Thank goodness. Now let's see who we play. As the wild card, our first playoff win comes this year. Well, this is what the playoffs now look like. And with the Bengals going down, the Texans probably have a pretty easy route. But Baker Mayfield at the 2 seed for the Falcons is hilarious. But against this Chiefs team, how can we do? That's the biggest question here. They're the best team in the NFL by far. 91, 92 offense, 91 defense. It's just a powerhouse. It's a juggernaut here. But it's tied 14-14 here in the 3rd quarter. The Chiefs extended up with some more points here as now we need to tie up this football game late in the 4th quarter. As this is going to be a very, very big drive. Getting down the field, 3rd and 3, 1st and goal, and we're going to be in. Now we have a lead, and so we try and need to make a stop here. That's all that matters now. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Pacheco. It's his whole roster. They lost Rashid Rice, but it will be more pass attempts with a 2-minute warning here. Great coverage, but it will be now 5 wide. They throw this one underneath Pacheco. Good catch, but with this now quick and underneath, they're going to hit it actually in the window behind. That catch in is incredible, but Worthy and Higgins there. I don't know who the other receiver is. Think it's Evan Stewart. You have to take a look now, but they're going to fleek this one right underneath to the big tight end, up to a superstar Dev. Wiley, what a development from him as a minute 21 left on the clock, as it will be now. Screenplay on 1st and 10. Great tackle. But they're going to continue to pass. This one across the middle, and Rathman, an interception is going to carry us to the championship game, an AFC championship. Here, Jason Rathman. What a draft pick from him. What a development. What a way to utilize our roster. Take N'Kobe Dean now, plug him in, have him rocking number 90, make plays for us, dropping middle, jumping over top. And so it's us, the Raiders, versus the Texans. Maybe a turning page for this rivalry that could be coming up. It's Patrick Mahomes versus the Raiders defense, but the 49ers and the Lions on the other side. But we're in Houston Stadium for this one, and they're going to open up the game with a touchdown drive and another one. Oh my goodness, and maybe another one here. 17-0. We're playing behind in this game. Maybe a Super Bowl's just not meant to be just yet, unless we could launch a comeback. But when you make mistakes, it's not going to happen here. We're a passing offense team, and that's going to cause problems. Eventually, we're going to run into interceptions, but we do punch in a touchdown here and get the 2-point conversion. So we do just need a stop here, but that's not looking to happen as they're getting play after play, and they do not get a field goal. So it's 9 points separating. We need to drive quick, but we do put in a score. But it looks like we're going to kick it deep here in this game. No, going onside kick. We are going onside. And is it maybe he's picked up and we have a chance? Oh my goodness, we get the onside kick. We just need a field goal because we went for 2 earlier. We have Brandon Aubrey. Please, just get forward. We can run the football. For all I care, punch our ticket to the Super Bowl here. Thanks to an onside kick against the Houston Texans. We're hitting across. It's dropped. That's fine. But Aubrey, where do we need to get to? The 47-yard line. So we just need 1 to 3 more yards. That's about it. But still, I'd get something better than that, please. Can we do it? Throwing. You just can't take a sack right there. Burn the timeout. Will Anderson getting in. And so it's 3rd and 15. Just run a screenplay. Run something to get a couple bits of yards. I'm getting excited while watching this. Nervous while watching this. Brock Bowers in motion. Him and Mark Andrews as they bring the blitz. And they completely wallop us here. Burn the timeout. And now it's 4th and 22. We choked. And so we need a first down. Where's Luther Burden? Quentin Johnson, Brock Bowers, Mark Andrews, all the weapons here. Up the seam, and we got it. Oh my goodness. We burned the timeout. It's a field goal. 4th and 22, we convert. Now the Texans use a timeout. And so it's going to be Brandon Aubrey. Can we just make it? No blocks, please. 7 seconds left. This kick is going to be up and good. We may have just punched our ticket to the Super Bowl. And so this is going to be it. CJ Stroud in, the superstar. I'd love to end it on a sack, but he's going to chuck up a deep ball here. And it's going to be almost caught. It is caught. Oh my goodness. After it's all said and done, we made it to the championship. The AFC Championship is huge, and now we've got it to the Super Bowl. And so the Super Bowl is here. Rookie of the Year didn't go our way. Before we jump into the Super Bowl, I do want to take a look at the final stats numbers, and it's 51 touchdowns for Cam Ward. The interception number is still high, but we throw the ball a million times a game. Genty getting his first 1,000-yard season is huge, but receiving 4 1,000-yard receivers. 4 guys with multiple or double-digit touchdowns. 93 catches, 98, 102. And so a great job there while our offensive line dominated on the front. Defensively, Rathman led our way in tackles. Sacks, 9.5 for Bailey. Bear Alexander, 6.5. Jason Sprigg, 6. Interceptions. French finished with 2. I'll take it. We didn't get a lot of interceptions or turnovers at all. But an MVP voting, Cam Ward is up there again. Coach of the Year. We are up there this time. AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Cam Ward's here, but DPOY, we don't have anybody there. But when you look at this offensive or defensive Rookie of the Year, 1, 2, and 3 players there, we do a really good job with our team getting the rookies involved, as we do have, hey, Genty, number 5 best at the running back spot is huge. We do have an offensive lineman of the year, but David Bailey playing really well as best linebacker, while DB, we have nobody up there. Kicker, Brandon Aubrey, though, but it's here. Past the stats, past the numbers, past the up and downs, past the playoff runs that were crazy between the Texans game, the Bills game, and more. The Chiefs game even as well. It's Brock Purdy versus Cam Ward. Raiders versus Niners. What a Super Bowl that would be. But to the sim we go. We can only watch here. Hopefully the team we put together is good, as it's an early punt. Oh, we turn around, start going on a good drive down the field, getting some plays. Maybe we could settle for at least 3, and we do. But the Niners come right back and do strike as we go on another drive. This time finally getting ourselves into the end zone. And so we could be going 3 for 3 on drives, but it's not the case here, as the Niners take the lead right at halftime. But we are now back up 17-14, 21-17. Now we punch in another touchdown. 4th and 11. We have the ball back. A touchdown here would be huge, but we don't get anything rolling. And so we do have to stop the Niners from from getting themselves into field goal range, at least getting into the end zone, as they are going to take a field goal and tie up this game. And so with 4:30 left, can we win the Super Bowl? It's as simple as that. Can't make any mistakes. Pass across the middle, it's completed. And now they're going to go with Ward again to the air. He gets sacked this time, as they're going to go jet sweep now. Out to the outside, Luther Burden getting the ball. Good play on 2nd and long. But it's going to be 3rd and 8 here. But it's going to be 3rd and 8. This is going to be a big one here. We saw 4th and 22 pick up. How about this underneath? We catch it. And we're going to keep this chain going. Keep this drive going. But it's going to be more pass attempts. More underneath. Quentin Johnson doing well in this drive. But now maybe to the run. And we do go to the run. And we're going to start taking time down. But it's 3rd and 4. That's not the best play call in the world. But we're going full back in. And we make a run again. And we do. And we're not going to pick this one up. We're not in field goal range. I think from the 40, it's going to be a long one. But Brandon Aubrey's going to try to nail this one through. I do not like this at all. If we miss this, they're going to have great field position. The kick is going to be up, and it's going to at least be good. Brandon Aubrey able to knock it in. Hopefully, I need to see it, make sure that it does go in. As no, it's wide right. Oh my goodness, it's wide right. And so now it's going to be in the Niners' hands here to win this game. Divine Diablo, you know, he's a guy wearing number 57. Now it's our new guy in there playing number 57, Bailey off the edge. He gets up to a superstar. That's cool to see. It's going to be Brock Purdy now sitting. They're in field goal range. They're definitely in field goal range. We need to make a play. As the ball comes out and he recovers it himself. But now they're going to run the football. And that's smart. That's what you have to do here. Run this clock down. We got to start burning timeouts. But no, it's injuries helping us out, as it will be more running attempts here. We managed to tackle this one down, but it's going to be one last run here. Morgan to the outside. We need to make a play. Great tackle by Hobbs. And so it's a field goal coming out. And we're going to have to push the football here, because this one is up and good. 46 seconds. That's all that separates us here. We got to push this football, and maybe we will with Quentin Johnson. A good play there. We just need a field goal. We just need to put ourselves in this spot here to send this to overtime. Why are we bringing a man in motion with no time left on the clock here? Cam Ward taking the snap, looking across, dump it off, please, as we throw to the outside. As we're going for a field goal now from this deep. What are we doing here? Aubrey, the kick is going to be up and no good. Oh my goodness, we blew it. After everything that's all said and done, I understand. Maybe we did, not deserve after the onside kick and all the crazy plays, but still, we blew it. But in 2027, the retirements are here, and we lost the Super Bowl. Is this going to mean we'll never be able to get back, as Lane Johnson, Cooper Kupp, Kenny Moore, and more do retire? But Chris Jones is gone, and so that will help us out a little bit. But a mock draft is here. We love our mock drafts. We're going to be picking very late, well, twice. Very late, because of the 2 first-round picks that we do have, as Jerry Barber is one and DeVaris Tyson is the other. But when it comes to staff moves, we're not making any. We're going to keep everything the same, at least try to keep the game together, outside of Mark Andrews, because I don't think he is coming back. We'll see if we can even make the move to do it. Luther Burden, we're not going to accept this option. Aston Genty, neither there. Mark Andrews, can we bring him back on a small-time deal just one more time? And he will. So the process will roll. We're going to keep the game together, but Hobbs and Kodu, both of them are going to be gone. DJ Glaze, Isaiah Simmons, Robert Jones, some of our backup linemen here we do need to maybe replace, but it's these two are the big ones. We're not going to re-sign them. We're going to go to free agency, and we're going to have a lot of money to spend. We have to spend it very, very wisely. But right now, if we do get rid of Colton Miller, we would save $11 million. Javon Holland, we would actually save $8 million from him. He is 28 years old. Have seen no reason to get rid of him. Mark Andrews, we'd save $5 million. And then Travis Jones, we'd actually save $4 million. And Travis Jones isn't a starter for us. And so we're going to start this free agency by getting rid of him, trying to move him for somebody very, very cheap. These are some of the offers on the table. And I don't know if we're going to take any of these. In fact, we may try to build our own offer, and we're going to get another 3rd-round pick. And that's just the story of it. We just get 3rd-round picks. That's how we're stacking up. And some of our 3rd-round guys have paid off for us, so it's been awesome. But this is what our lineup does look like heading in to free agency. We need to replace the right guard. We maybe need a running back, but Ashton Genty's up to an 88 now and played very, very well for us. But on the defensive side, there is a glowing hole here in the middle. Right here, Dante Core alone. But our linebacking core, this thing is beautiful between all of these guys. But safety is also good, and it's great to see Bernard up to 78. But Alexander didn't come up. French, though, he is developing very, very nicely. He's going to be in probably a corner number 1 heading into next year, but we do need to grab some more corners. But free agency is here, and yeah, we could get ourselves an even better running back. But Jalen Carter, That is who we're going after. Could go corner with Quinyon Mitchell, continue to bolster the defense, but there's going to be some cap issues this year. We need to save money to re-sign Luther Burden. And we're going to give Jalen Carter a very, very big deal, very lucrative deal, but it's going to be a big free agency. There's a lot of guys here. Terry and Arnold would be interesting. Maybe a 2-year deal, something light. He does want to play with us. Everybody wants to play with us. And that's a great feeling, especially because our winning percentage is over 500 now. But I did offer Dominic Pooney. He would be great to fill that guard spot, take care of the right guard position, and then we'd be good. Then that would allow us to tackle more of the defensive line problems. But here we're going to try to offer Ward first, not Ward, Terry and Arnold. And so we're first here, and first here. And so with these targeted, we're going to move forward to the next day. Hopefully we can grab both of them, and we do, as Terry and Arnold get some crazy ass offers on the table. As it looks like Jalen Carter didn't sign with us. Where did he go? Oh, he went to the Falcons. Nick Bosa's off the table now. I'm not that mad about it because it would have been just a upgrade nonetheless. Maybe we can go with Lim McNeil in the middle at the defensive tackle spot. But all the good corners are off the board. Diggs, Hobbs, Ward, Arnold. We could try to put our hat in the ring even more for Arnold. And if we gave him something like this, maybe that would put us up there in the running. No, not even that. 7.7 million for both. And if we bump it up to 8.4, would that even be enough? No, we're not even in first place. We'll let that sit, see if he does take it. And so we move forward. At least just have to. A bunch of people off the side, and we didn't even win McNeil. And we gave him more than what anybody else was willing to give. And so it's an L again that we do take. Just disappointing. Jonathan Allen, we just have to make an offer on him. We need somebody in the middle. Luckily enough, the guard spot's fixed, so it's not like we are really suffering across the board, but I really thought this free agency would be our best free agency yet. And with day number 1 being a bust, day number 2 going maybe a little bit better, we're just trying to build up. Pooney was probably our best option that we could get, just somebody to fill in on that offensive line. Granted, that offensive line just got a lot better. Will Hernandez out, him in. But other than that, we're not making a lot of expenditures. We're not really putting ourselves out there to bring in anybody else. We could go out and get Christian McCaffrey, but there's no need. There is no need with the way this roster is built right now. Like Jalen Wright would be fun. I was thinking about getting Braylon Allen because he's still young, but that's not going to happen. So we are going to go with Jalen Wright as our third running back here. And just throw him a nice little 2-year deal, something easy. But after we offer James Williams, now transition down to a middle linebacker, we really have nowhere else to go besides just building up that corner room again. Kelly Ringo, we lost on him. I really thought we were going to be able to bring him in. We're going to bring in Rackstraw to be a backup corner. We need one more corner on our roster, one more really good one. I thought we were going to have it all figured out, but unfortunately we don't. Cordero Flott developed very, very well after this Giants, but Max Melton could be somebody else we target. We did bring in, though, TJ Tampa and Jaron Jones as well. So we're deep now in that corner room. Just no young guys making an entrance, but we're going to continue on. And it looks like we do get some more guys. But free agency's over. We just went right to the end because I am just beyond mad. This could have been a guarantee of the Super Bowl if we were able to bring in Jalen Carter, if we were able to bring in Terrion Arnold, if we were even able to bring in McNeil. That solves problems in the interior. But Dominic Pooney, I hope we win it now just for you. But this is who we signed. Pooney, Vita Vea coming in to play the D-tackle spot was good. Rackstraw. We even brought in Joey Bosa at the end of his career. But overall, looking where all these guys went, this is just so unbelievably sad. We could have made so many amazing moves. So now with the draft around the corner, we have to figure out who are we going to attack. And I'll tell you this right now. A top 5 talent in Nathan Ross. That's somebody we definitely go after. A couple round 1 talents in defensive tackles, but we need to look at receivers. I definitely need to look at some of the receivers, really figure out if there's any worth going for, because at the end of this number 1 round, we have 2 picks, and we need to figure out who are we going to go for. But I do want to look at maybe a left tackle after the 2 receivers. I just don't know if Stockton's going to fall to us, but Bill Farrell, a round 1 run stopper. This guy could be very, very good. And if neither of them all pan out, if none of them pan out, we may be looking to trade up. And that's as simple as it goes. Is we're going to go ahead and select these guys and now move on to the draft. It is going to be here. We've done a good job drafting so far. It's not going to change, but it's another year and another year of the Panthers trying to put together a good team. Same with the Cardinals. They've been down there every single year. And they go Alex Hackett. They go a right tackle to start the draft. The Bucks go Raheem Ferguson, who's a corner. But there's a lot of quarterbacks here at the top. There's a lot of top 5 Quarterback, so it'll be interesting to see. Cardinals better not go quarterback. They just drafted one. But now I expect quarterbacks off the board as they go Jarvin Teague instead. But I'm really not feeling comfortable as we continue to go on. Finally, a quarterback off the board. It's going to be Sanders going off the board now, Lonnie Sanders. But the Minnesota Vikings are going to take Matt Cunningham. So there's another quarterback off the board. But are they going to replace Bo Nix? They are. Maybe. We'll see. But after Grant Howard goes off the board, I expect this is where we're going to see it. Nathan Ross, he does get picked. And so I was going to see if he wait and, maybe trade up to 15. That would allow us to maybe retain a first round pick. But now we're just going to go to our pick. And we put the expert, we put the scouting and the private workout on Bragg. And that's because I think Isaac's good enough. Looking at it with the B catching, he's more of a playmaker, good with the ball in his hands. Could fit in our team very well. Catching and deep route are good. I like that out of him. Number 9 in true value. That's a hit. That is most definitely a hit here. Very good pick there. So now we're going to move forward to our next one. And that's going to bring about a very, very important question. What do we do about that end and defensive tackle position that we scouted? Because looking at it here, he's a round 2-3 talent, and he's going to be available for us, but he's a round 1 talent. I think we get him off the board now. I think we reach, we just take the guarantee and move forward. If we want to replace our entire D tackle room, we could go both of them. For all I care, but a round 1 talent. This is a guy who, if he's drafted, could be a superstar for us. So I'm going to take him. Donovan Ballard, 7 in true value. That's a hit. So we have 2 hits right away. 2 top 10 players in the draft. Is now we're going to look forward. And we're going to go quicker through this draft. I just want to make sure we're making our picks in a correct fashion. We may go ahead and even draft another interior defensive lineman if it does suit our needs, because if there's speed on the table, we can make it work. Like Jermaine Freeman. He's a round 1-2 talent, and so we're going to go ahead and take him. And so he should be maybe top 15, maybe top 20, top 41. That's perfectly fine, but we're sitting in a very positive spot. The 3rd round picks are here. But we are going to reach to a corner just to build it up a little bit with Jermaine Vereen. He's a little bit of a reach, I think, and wow, could be a massive bust. Thought he was going to be a hit, but we've struggled in the 3rd rounds here and there. A lot of these trades haven't worked out for us, but it's another draft, and we have 3 picks in this 3rd round. We just need 1 out of 3 to hit. That's the benefit of this. That's the beauty of this. But now we're going to take George McClain to tight end, because after Mark Andrews done this season, I want somebody to replace him, and I thought he was going to be a hidden deb. Being completely honest with you, that's the only reason I took him. I thought maybe we could develop him a little bit. But I think we're going to reach here again on Tyler Armstead. Now, Tyler Armstead is a perfect pick. Almost on the dot, and he was selected to be an undrafted player, but he was on my list. I envision him more as a safety. I'll be completely honest. I think the safety would work better for us. But Penn State players have not let us down so far. Tevin Jenkins, a little bit of a reach. Not exactly what we need in that look. This hasn't been our best draft so far, but the 2 first-round picks, 2 guys inside of the top 10 is never going to hurt us. But here's where it's going to be all about reaching later in the draft. And Trusher and Gio Hardesty, I don't think this is a hit. Actually is. A good one there. Hitting Dev in the 6th round. We're getting it to work for us here. Sorry, 5th round. We still have 2 more rounds to go. But now to Travis Covington, a receiver late. And that's another good pick from us. And he's a hitting Dev. So we're finding late round gems for us. I just don't know if anybody who's going to truly make the roster and make a lasting impact, as we do have almost Mr. Relevant here. And we're going to do it with Jeff Mueller. Power moves, that's what I liked out of him, and it's another decent pick. Not crazy. He's going to be a normal development as we finish up this draft. Very average, I would think. So how did we do? That is the question. As 276 overalls to start. 73 and a 73 as well. Vereen, just a little bit of a bust there at the corner spot, but not bad down here. We just need to make sure both of these 2 are hidden development correct. Ballard, he's definitely going to get some playing time for us. And then Cam Isaac is also a hidden development at a 76 overall. He's going to get massive playing time for us. I view him as almost a Deebo Samuel type that he could develop into. But Darian Freeman, he is hidden dev 2. So that creates an interesting situation. If you're Vita Vea, what do you do? And at cut day, it only makes sense that we get rid of him. We clear $6 million in cap, and we run with Mike Gregory, Corleone, and Donovan Ballard. So it's going to be Vita Vea. See you later. We've had so many veterans come into that space the past couple of seasons. Braden Thomas, Donovan Backman, I'm sorry, you still cannot make the roster. But Gio Hardesty's a hidden development. That means maybe Richer or Joey Bosa can go see you later. But we're going to keep Joey Bosa on for right now. Just let Gio Hardesty develop at his own rate. Nick Martin staying on the roster. No moves there. No cuts here. Jermaine Vereen, it's disappointing that he's just not good enough to make the roster. TJ Tampa, Jerry and Jones, as we're going to move on from TJ Tampa coming in this free agency. That's the goal, is onboard as many people as possible. And from there, we can make our decisions, as it's going to be Bowers not making this year's roster because Tyler Armstead, the rookie corner we drafted, we moved him to free safety, and he's good. But we need a replacement for Javon Holland coming up soon, and maybe that is going to be Jay Bernard. I really like Jay Bernard. Maybe we can remove Malik Mastupa, but there's no need at the moment. And I hate to do this, but Christian McCaffrey just did not make our roster. But actually, he would be a good, Gentsy's good enough at being a third down back. It's going to be Christian McCaffrey not making our roster here. But the receiving room, this is where things get tricky. These three make it. Jalen Hyatt, tough one. All three of these tough, and they want me to cut all of them here. But look at the obvious here. Chauncey Sheed, he is going to be off the roster. Goodwell, he's going to be off the roster more than likely. But if we move Rock Taylor and Elijah Badgert, how many receivers does that leave us with? 6 in total. Now to the tight ends, we're going to run with 4. We have 5 as Daniel Bellinger. I think that's the right move, hopping him off of the roster. But we have 5 more cuts to make. Jeff Mueller, unfortunately, will not make the roster. Right end, Tevin Jenkins more than likely will not make the roster, but Bear Alexander is injured, and that's why we need Josh Franklin Myers for now. Tevin Jenkins off the roster. Defensive tackle, we've already left this clean. And at left guard, we are going to remove Samatu, leaving Jackson Powers Johnson obviously starting, Monk behind him, and then making a move in our secondary. Malik off. One more cut needs to be made, and so we're going to get rid of Tyrone Culliver. We're going to run a 5-man wide receiving core. But Colton Miller is hurt, and that's okay. We have some injuries, too, on the defensive side to Bear Alexander. But heading into the first couple of games, this is what things are looking like. Brock Bowers, we're not doing the experiment as much, but Brock Bowers is still playing slot receiver for us. But Walker's moved over on the defensive side. Our linebacking core looking good, and we have 2 rookies starting on the D-line. We need to with Bear Alexander out. It's going to be Freeman getting the start at the linebacker spot. We're looking good at the corner spot. French and Alexander. Alexander's up thanks to some preseason mentorship, so I'm all for it here. The big difference this season is how well is Isaac going to do? What's his overall? What's his development trait? But at the midseason point, it's not the same success that we did find last year. We're 3-3 at the trade deadline. Kansas City Chiefs up next. They're also 3-3, but they're falling in overall points, which is nice for us. We're up to a 91 overall. But the second half of the season is all about this. Cam Moore, got to give him mega millions. Luther Burden and Bailey as well. I forgot Bailey was in that draft class too. Oh my goodness, and it's going to start with this $50 million cap hit. Cam Ward. Could we draft somebody different maybe? That would be nice. That would be easy. But Cam Ward, we are going to get him to re-sign. $49 million cap hit. You know, luckily, we still have $100 million to work with. Burden, we're signing him to a $6 million deal. Bailey, we're going to try to sign him to a 6-year deal, a long-term edge rusher. But Ashton Genty, a $4 million deal. He's happy to continue to sign. And there's the money just disappearing out the window. Mayor Jackson, we need to bring him back. Can we even spend the money at this point? But we're still one of the best offenses in the league. We just can't run the ball. But opponents' passing yards and opponents' rushing yards, very, very good numbers there, as we do have a trade offer on the table for Jalen Wright. That's a little interesting there. Trey Palmer, Hobbs, nobody I'm really interested in. And even though I looked at the deadline, we're not going to make any moves. So that means one thing. This is the standings right now, 4-3. For us, the Denver Broncos are 5-2. The Chargers are 5-2. A complete role reversal of last year, and we're heading to the playoffs. But luckily, we got ourselves to the wild card. We got ourselves into the playoffs again. This time, 11-6. Only 2 games behind where we were last year, and it was enough to sneak in as the 4 seed. So looking over, we actually ended up winning the division, and I think it was a 3-way tie, or almost a 3-way tie. 11-6, 11-6, and 10-7. So every team finished above 500. In our division. The AFC West is stacked. We knew it going in, but it's not Patrick Mahomes' division anymore. It's Cam Moore, who balled out again. 45 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Ashton Genty, not a great year running the football from him, only 3.7 yards per carry, and we just re-signed him. A little bit worrisome there, but Luther Burden, it's becoming his team now. Both Mark Andrews, though, and Brock Bowers balled out. Cam Isaac, what are you? Are you a star? Well, he does have 3 bonus upgrade points, so we'll find it out here in a second. When it comes to sacks, we did not give up a lot this year, but tackles, Rathman putting up good numbers. We just didn't get the sacks we wanted. Again, we are struggling to get sacks. With Javon Holland, 4 interceptions, does that mean we have to bring him back? What about Bernard? He's going to be taking his spot more than likely. But we did finally get some forced fumbles, and Rathman got 3 of them. Javon Holland, 3 of them. 2 of them from Morig. Morig's also going to be walking. We're going to be losing 2 key players on our defense after this year. But when it comes to yearly awards, Cam Ward, again, almost won MVP. As Bryce Young won it. Gosh, we are in a simulation. Literally. But we did not get Coach of the Year. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Cam Ward is there. So is Luther Burden. But when it comes to Defensive Player of the Year, we do not have anybody who is a Raider. But, hey, an Offensive Rookie of the Year is huge. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Darian Freeman, is actually down here. And it's crazy that Freeman's down here and not our big man in the interior. That is wild. But best QB, Cam Ward won it. Best running back, we do not have Genty. Actually is down there at number 10. Burden's there for a receiver. We know that there should be Brock Bowers on a list somewhere for how good that he has been. But we were one of the best offenses. The problem is we were one of the worst defenses in this season. But he's a star, and that sucks. I wish Cam Isaac could be better for us. But it's great to see that Donovan Ballard is a superstar. So we have a superstar big fella in the middle. Yes, didn't get any awards, no recognition. But somebody we can finally develop in that position. And Jay Bernard, he is a key piece. Didn't think he was going to be a key piece, but he most definitely is at the safety spot. But we're going to turn into a very deep roster to a very top-heavy roster very soon, and we're going to have no choice around it. But if you want to see full overalls, this is what our team is at here. Everybody's looking good. Brock Bowers back up there. Then to the defensive side here, Jackson over Folds. I don't know which one I want to play, which one I like better. But Bear Alexander's back. But Freeman up to a 75 overall. Do we let Bear Alexander walk, give Freeman the start here in the playoffs? That's a great possibility, because then we'd have stars across the board. Bear Alexander's fine. 2 safeties walk. We fill the one in with Bernard, who's an 82 anyways. We should start giving Bernard the start now more that I'm looking at it. But we're an 88 overall roster, almost a 90. But this has really turned into one of the craziest rivalries. We went 2-0 against them this year. We beat them last year in the playoffs, and we've won against them 3 straight times. If you go back to last year's regular season, we went 1-1. They won the first one, we won the second one, so looking at it throughout, we're on a 4-game win streak against them right now. But we head to the sim, and this is going to be interesting. It's a big play here to start this game, and things are not looking good in this season. Oh no, we're down 21-0 here, and we're not going to be able to jump in. Raiders, finally, we put something up on the board. Can we complete the comeback? Maybe here as we get the ball back, but no, it's another turnover. The fourth quarter now knocking. We are trying to get things rolling offensively, cut the lead back down to 1, but they turn around and score their own. But it's 3rd and 10, no time left, 1st and goal. We do put up a score, and for some reason, we're going for the 2-point conversion. You know what? I'll take it here. I like the idea. Get risky here late. We're going to throw this one in. Easy 2-point conversion. So if we recover the onside kick, then we'd have to score a touchdown, and then we'd still going to win. But that one's in to Luther Burden. Very disappointed with how this game went, though. And so this is it. AJ Cole to kick. Can we recover it? This one bouncing up, as it will be recovered by the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are moving on, as the knee down from Mahomes gives them the win here, breaking the winning streak for us against them. But when it comes to the Pro Bowl, we can have guys there this year. And we have Ward. We're definitely not going to have any in the running department, except for Collins, the fullback actually there. Luther Burden, Brock Bowers. We don't have Mark Andrews. That's a little bit lame. Do we have any of the guards or tackles? No. But on the defensive side, sitting here, looking for any of our players. Hey, Rathman in the middle. He continues to play really, really well for us. In corners, no. Rice. We looked at drafting Rice a while back, if you do remember. He's up to an 88 overall now. Maybe I missed Javon Holland getting it as Taylor Rapp, late in his career, making plays. That's great to see. And Bernard made the Pro Bowl as a backup safety over Morik. That's crazy. And this is the only time I'll ever say I'm rooting for the Eagles to beat the Kansas City Chiefs as we move on past the Super Bowl into the following season, into the next year. I wish it was us there. Unfortunately, is the Chiefs. It's just such a matchup nightmare for us. It's such a tough game. It's such a bitter rivalry. It just doesn't go our way. As a season recap, it does have the Chiefs losing, so I can be happy with that one. Can't believe that Bryce Young won MVP. But as free agency is here after it's all said and done, we did go through the re-sign period and bring him back again for a 1-year deal. Chief didn't even think it was going to happen. They decided to extend it out We gave him about 8 million as the bonus, 5 million on the money line for him. But Mark Andrews and Brock Bowers' experiment is continuing. But the rest of the team, this is what we're looking at here. We got Ashton Genty still at running back. Isaac, because of his offensive rookie of the year nod, goes up to a superstar, but it's the right tackle position. That's where it's hitting us hard. And then on defense, the safety, you see it here. The safety position is bad. And with Bernard getting a nod to the Pro Bowl, I didn't even realize he's up to a superstar. But then Friedman and Rathman in the middle folds. I wish he developed better on the outside, but Ballard in the middle with Spriggs and Freeman up to a 75. I don't know what moves we need to make on the defensive side outside of bringing in safety. We'll probably need to bring in a CB3. That's going to be a big move for us, but this interior is very well set. No superstars, no 90 overalls, but decent across the board. Decent enough to win a Super Bowl, though. That is the question. But how's this free agency looking? Wow. This is incredible. Jordan Love has left the Green Bay Packers, hit free agency. Same with Pat Freiermuth, Trevarius Ward, TJ Watt even hitting free agency this year. Absolutely wild. I'd love to give TJ Watt just a low ball offer, see if he takes it for 1 year. But we have a big question here. Are there any good safeties on the board? And the answer to that is no. Maybe Xavier Watts, if we wanted to bring somebody in. Is there any star dev players in here? No. Going through, what about on the strong safety side? Morg is probably the youngest and best, and that is sad. That is definitely sad. The safety position is going to be a big, big point of hurt for us. Maybe we could bring in some corners and put them back there. Like Trayvon Diggs, his man-to-man can't be good, but his zone's got to be good. He could play free safety for us, and that would probably even things out. But what about a CB number 2 or 3? Denzel Burke, I like him. I think he'd be a great CB3 for us. But first to the tackle spots. And I really like a Johnny Cornelius out of Oregon. At 27 years old, 84 overall, we could give him a very extensive deal that would last many, many years, up until he's about 33 years old. And that would just keep our offensive line solid. Colton Miller, we could do that. But I like the idea of Cornelius. I think, yes, a little bit lower overall, but he wants a bag. Oh my goodness. He really wants to come play for us, though. So can we lower this offer at all? That's going to be what we're going to try to do here. But it's the Cardinals. Us versus the Cardinals for this one here. And I'm worried if we don't get him, we're not going to get a good opportunity any of these other guys here. We could just try to bring back Colton Miller for 1 year, but also Patrick Paul, 78 overall, not a star dev, so that's what hurts us there. But I have to take a peek over, and it would cost us not a lot of money to get rid of some of these guys here, save a bit of bread. The biggest one's Dylan Parham in the middle. And at 74 overall, I really hate to do this, but I think he's going to be a cut guy for us. He's going to be somebody that we go ahead and move on from. We will free 25 million, but we incur the penalty. So that will be fine. But then as rank is strong on our roster, maybe we could just run with him for now. Maybe that is just a piece of our roster. We could just go all out and sign somebody like Amon-Ra St. Brown. We have the money to do it, and that would definitely give us probably the best weapons on the field, no matter what. But going all out means we can't resign anybody next year. And I would love to get a guy like Trey Smith, but he's also going to cost us a bag. Actually, not. Oh, 16 million. I thought that said 1.6 million. Yeah, he's going to cost us a bag. But as I'm looking through, it's funny to see Tyree Wilson here. You know, former Vegas Raider. We could bring him back. That'd be a funny note, but, you know, with the money it would take, it's not worth it. David Bailey took his spot and kind of ran with it, including being a Pro Bowl type player in the middle. Kelton Mondon out of Georgia would be a nice addition to our linebacking core. Probably cost us too much money. And Nick Jackson, I would love to see where he does end up. That would be a cool thing to see him end up on a team that at least is going to win. Maybe he can actually get sacks for. But in day number 1, our first attempt at building out this free agency class is what we're going with here. I did make an offer onto Mondon because I think he can be versatile for us. But then Ringo and Diggs. Now, the reason why is because, yes, they're a little bit older, but they're some of the best zone corners on the board. So if we can take them and then install them in as free safeties, that means Bernard can play the strong safety side and we'll be all good there. The only hope is, how does this all go? And yes, I did extend an offer to Trey Hendrickson. He was wanted to be around the $23 million mark. We gave him a whole lot less when it comes to signing Trayvon Diggs, and we lost out on the right tackle sweepstakes. That doesn't make sense to me because we were so far ahead of everybody else, but he decided to sign with the Cardinals. Why? That doesn't make sense. I'm a little bit greedy, yes, but that means we're going to have to bring back Colton Miller, and I'm just going to bring him back on a 1-year deal, and that's going to ruin a lot of the rest of the things that I wanted to do in this free agency. Colton Miller probably, hopefully, will be coming back. We're going to make this offer onto him. And so we change up the strategy a little bit. Hendrickson, we're going to let it sit because apparently you don't need to be the highest just to have a guy commit to you here. But looking at it, there is an offer coming in from the Saints. Signing period, we didn't get anybody. And that is a little bit of an L. Kelly Ringo is getting a better offer. But I'm at the point now where why am I relying on Cordero Flott to be the answer for us at a safety position? That's just not what I want to see. Maybe Malcolm Pride, even just in case we can throw an offer his way. Just a 3-year deal to come in and play safety for us. And him at an 80 overall, and he's younger, actually makes more sense. Cordero Flott, though, I would really, really like to get him in. But really now everything that we do in this game is all going to depend, or this season is all going to depend on this guy here, Colton Miller. Are you going to come back? We'll check it, see it, please. We're waiting to see if you just want to return to being a Vegas Raider, please, as we will maybe get some more signings, hopefully, as we go up to this look, as we get Pride and Cordero Flott. So some corners and some safeties, however we want to stretch it out here. Some edge rushers in here as well. Sidney Brown, we can actually take you off. We need to replace our depth at edge. But as day number 2 comes around, it still all depends on Colton Miller. Still not signing with us, that we did offer $1.2 million with no bonus to Kirk and Bellinger here. Xavier Thomas will need him to come in. Jalen Tolbert got a minimum as well just to build out, maybe add something to the return game. We have not gotten a return. I've checked every single season. But moving forward, will we finally get Colton Miller to accept? Will we finally be okay heading in to the next season? And the answer to that is yes. And we got Daniel Bellinger. So that's huge. Our tight end room is still very consistent. Very, very good. Now it's all about depth, getting in as many veterans as possible to our roster. You know, a lot of the guys won't make the team. But as day number 3 does roll around, we continue to offer. But so far, Colton Miller is going to be our biggest signing. And that's going to be it. And I hate to say that bringing him back is our biggest signing. Like, I would have loved to grab TJ Watt. I would have loved to grab Hendrickson, either one of those two, to play on the field for us. Even a George Kittle type, right? Bringing a guy like him in. Continuing the tight end experiment. Can tight ends win you championships, right? Like, this would be one of the coolest things of all time. And if we offer a small guy like that to a guy like Kittle, will he accept? Probably not. But that's the type of money we can throw around so we put ourselves in a position. The problem is if we build up that owed amount too much over time, then when we go to re-sign a lot of the rookies that we put a lot of effort into, it just won't be the case, and we won't be able to bring them in. So this is what you do. You go ahead, find somebody you like. Let's say Marlon Humphrey, right? He's not the best player in the world. I love the mentor tag. Want to get him on the team. Might not even make the roster unless we move him around. Maybe he'll become a safety for us, right? So we go over, and though it looked like we gave him absolutely no money, it's still a 2, right? It's still a 2 out of 5 in terms of offers given. So that's not that bad. And what I like to do here is sit in this older safety window and try to bring in any of these guys. Like Malcolm Pride, I think would make a phenomenal safety. He may be our 3rd corner this year. Maybe he will play some of that safety look because his tackling's pretty good. His block shedding, though, definitely needs some work. Marlon Humphrey's got better block checking and better tackling, so maybe he'll be the man that will play safety for us a little bit more. That's the goal. But Kobe Bryant here out of Kansas, gosh, he just has not developed. I really thought he was going to be really, really good when we were looking at the draft classes. But where did our safeties go to? Javon Holland went to the Giants. You know who else went to the Giants? Jordan Love. Jordan Love signed a 3-year, $160 million deal. Last time I saw the Giants hand out $160 million. Actually, today's the day Daniel Jones is gone as I'm recording this. But I think we're done with free agency. I think we're done offering out veteran minimums. I think we're done trying to build up our roster. So we targeted a whole heck of people. And will George Kittle sign with us? Probably not. He's 85 overall, 35 years old. Doesn't really make all that sense. But when it's all said and done, this is who we got. And Travion Henderson coming in at an 80 overall, but we're only paying him a 2-year, $1.6 million deal. He's or 3-year, $1.2 million with no bonus. He's insane. Malcolm Pride, we're giving him such a small contract as well for 3 years. Marlon Humphrey coming in on a minimum, all the way down. So many minimums. But it's built out a pretty decent class. I mean, sometimes this is what free agency is for, bringing in veterans to find a role on your team. But I also feel like I do have to show this because the Patriots went crazy with Amon-Ra and Jordan Mailata. and it is the Giants getting Jordan Love, which is crazy at age 30. Trey Smith heading over to the Packers, and they spent money bringing in a new quarterback as well. Johnny Cornelius screwed over our entire plans, but it's okay. Colton Miller's back. But here I did go through and edit every single older gentleman that we brought into this roster to see who would be the best safety for us. So Malcolm Pride's going to go back down to corner. It's going to be Humphrey and Diggs here playing on this side of the ball. Now, when it comes to strength, Marlon Humphrey has the most, so I think we're going to move him over to strong safety, have him behind Bernard, leave a Flott there. Malcolm's going to go back down. But this is what the offensive line and the rest of the team is going to look like. And it's Cam Ward now up to a 96 overall, 92. He's just a superstar X Factor. Luther Burden, Brock Bowers. Not much has changed on the offensive side, to be completely honest with you. In fact, not a single position changes or does anything. But Jalen Tolbert sitting at wide receiver 6. And we have Bateman, Kirk, and Shaheed. We just stacked up on veterans, paying people veteran minimums. They're not all going to make the roster, so that's perfect. And on the defensive line, Ballard, we need him to develop well. We brought back Corleone. We spent a lot of money there, but this is how you fix the secondary. Malcolm Pride coming in, Diggs coming in at the top. That is going to be huge there. I really think Humphrey could get some playing time, especially as like a slot guy. He's good man, good zone, good tackling, good all of that. He could play a slot corner for us. The only position I'm just a little concerned about isn't Freeman down here. It's actually Folds, and I thought Folds was going to be the best of him when it came to linebackers. But Friedman and Rathman both pass him a little bit. But what that does leave us to is in this draft is we can just go for best available. We do have some private workouts, and with the way things have gone for us, it really is the best talent available to us. And that's as simple as it can be. Looking at the defensive tackles, though, we've scouted them through and through again. And now, why did we put the effort in scouting again? I didn't know if Barlow was going to pan out. I didn't know if Barlow was going to be the guy. Same with Spriggs. But if Barlow or Ballard is good, we also bring in Barlow. All of a sudden, we can move one of them over to the right end side, take over a job there from some of the other guys. But looking at it here, block shedding from him is very, very good. But when it comes to safeties, it's not a good safety draft in any stretch of the imagination. One of the things that we can do, it looks like it's a really good corner class, like zone corner class, which is hilarious to me. We could go with zone corner and move him back. That is one of the options that we do have. I really, really like some of the corners here. There's no really good standout to me. Like, I don't think Jeff Perry's a true standout guy. But what I really like is a Denario Mitchell. Denario Mitchell looks to me like he would make a phenomenal safety at 6'2", A zone, A awareness. His play recognition could use a little bit of work, but he's also a great tackler. To me, it seems like he's out of position. But then to strong safety, maybe Brian Kirkpatrick. But in all honesty, I like some of the other guys better. I really, really like some of the other players better. Stackhouse in the later rounds, somebody who could play well for us. But we will all see. We need to figure out who we're going to look at now, especially for the first round pick. If we look here at favorites, I am going to put one on Stackhouse. And then at corner, we're going to go with Mitchell here. I think Mitchell could be very, very good for us. But if we want to replace Folds, that's a big deal for me. If we need to replace Folds and we go for a power rusher, we could go for a guy like Daquan Sutton, having a speed rusher off the edge, or Colbert. Now, I like Daquan Sutton just a little bit more. Yes, he's a scheme fit too, which will help us. But if we do want to go power moves, a guaranteed power moves, Mitchell Callahan's better. And that's what gets me a little bit worried if we do go back here and look at awareness. Callahan could be the real deal. He's the 50th best ranked prospect. So we're going to put it on him. And maybe a power rusher. We can move him around a little bit. Maybe we have to make something happen here. But that's what we're going to select. And fingers crossed now as we move on to the draft. How will this all look? But it's another quarterback heavy draft class. And the Dolphins are going to not lean into it. They're not going to go quarterback here. Devin Russell off the board, and the Giants don't need a quarterback, so they're going to go driver off the board. So it's already shaken up. There was supposed to be a quarterback going pick number 1, but instead it's all defensive ends to start here. We're going to look at the first 4 is the 49ers up there. Wow, as they go Cole Pickett, receiver. Saints then, who have been rocking with Sanders now for a very long time, struggling. They pick up Josh Lawton, but 3 top 5 players still remain. That is wild. That's not supposed to happen. It's really never supposed to be like that. But Denario Mitchell is a round 1 talent. Now, round 1/2 for Kirkpatrick, but both of these two could be very, very good to our roster. But at this point, we're going to sim forward and just have our fingers crossed that at least one of our guys is there. As I look at the board, it looks like we may be good. it looks like we may have our guys, at least one of them here. As our first pick, we are going to go with Bordeaux. But this is a situation now where we're probably going to need to trade up if we want to go get the other. As he's 22 in true value, we've drafted him at 22, so that's absolutely fine. That's what we expected. The only problem is he's a normal development player. Did we miss out on maybe the best potential corner? We're going to slowly skip ahead here. Patrick Bowman goes off the board. Then the Bills aren't going to go maybe with a corner. I know they needed one. It's taking a little bit to load. And said they go with Nick Silken. But it's crazy looking here that there's still quarterbacks not off the board. In fact, no quarterbacks went. All the quarterbacks are good. So this quarterback is sitting here, Colby McFerrin, a top 5 projected talent, another top 5 projected talent in street. But we need our corner. Where is he at? He's all the way down here. When it comes to corners off the board, there's only one ahead of him. So this gets me a little bit worried. But with the Bucs picking Andy Roosevelt, who do the Vikings pick? Please don't go corner. We don't need it to happen. Will you go quarterback? No, they go Virgil Myers. So there still is some corners still on the board in front of our guy. We may have to just trade up here with the Titans after this Steelers pick because we already moved forward and they go Lyle Cooper. We have to make this trade up now. And so for the first time ever, we're getting rid of our 3rd round draft picks. We have 2 seconds, 2/3, all to move up because we need to be able to take him here. And I just hope that he's our guy. I hope it's everything that we hoped here. We know he's a 1st round talent, but please be the development trait that we need you to be. Donario Mitchell, a true good corner for us. Is he's 22nd in true value? No, he's 9th. And he is a hidden dev. Oh, what a pick for us. This is definitely going to be worth it. And so that is going to allow us to sim forward, and we can kind of play loose with the rules here as we will pick at number 54. We just don't have a 3rd round selection here. We got rid of our 2 seconds next year and the year after. But right now, I'm not sure about this. Looking at it, if we wanted to stack up on our defensive line, yes, we have a James. Oh my goodness. How can you not pick James? Finesse moves is an A. How fast is he? Checking the physicals. He's fast. He could be an edge rusher. James off the edge, sacking James. Oh my goodness. Actually, he's a freak athletic. Oh my goodness. Wait a second. This guy is hidden dev written all over. Oh my, we're taking him. We're taking James. You have to take James, right? He's his hidden dev. No, he's a normal dev. Oh my goodness. Did we waste a pick? Maybe, but the memes are for sure. It's James. But it also allows us to maybe trade Dante Corleone. Because 1, he's not as cool in the name, but 2, is he really going to be worth it? But our defense is good now. Like, I feel like our defense is fine. We really need to put some effort into upgrading, but we're simming forward through the rest of our picks. Now to the 4th round, pick number 10. We have 2 picks here. But at this point, we are going to get a little bit risky. I am going to take Brian Finnegan. And now he was a big reach for us. And he's not bad. He could be good. I mean, as an edge rusher, will he make our roster? Probably not. We got our 2 guys, and we had to make the trade to make it happen. But Brian Finnegan in the 4th round, maybe a little bit of a risk. We have no reason to even grab a running back yet, but I do want to grab an edge rusher, and we are going to go with another guy to try to come in and compete with Folds. That's all that we're trying to do here is get people that can compete with Folds. But another edge rusher, Damian Piran, and he was a bust. So 2 bust edge rushers to start. Not what you want. He had great power moves, just not very good. Every power rusher I feel like we've taken is just not good. I wish I could sit here and do all the data to figure out what means the most for what draft picks. I guarantee you somebody has a video on that. Maybe I should make a video on that. But now we're doing another reach in the 5th round as we are going to reach on a receiver. That it was a bad pick. No, good pick. 65 in true value. Normal development. Okay, we get ourselves a good receiver there. It takes a second to load, so I don't know what our pick truly is until after. That has just been killing me every single time. But now to another safety to try to build it up. Victor Milstead here. It says good pick, but it's going to take a second to load because that's what it's done in the past. But no, it looks like he's staying at number 65. Nope, never mind. 155, there it is. So he wasn't the best player in the world. Could maybe get time on our practice squad for a year or 2. That's what we've done with a lot is Donovan Sellers. Lenore Sellers, maybe 3rd cousin once removed, getting picked there. And in the 7th round, we have had just a bad back half of the draft. I wish we could do something better. We've done it in the past before, but it had us picking Chris Love. Did I actually skip ahead? Oh my goodness, I did. So that is going to conclude what this draft has really been for us. But we need to see how good Donario Mitchell is. He could be an absolute beast for us going forward. But looking at the draft recap, this is it. How did we do? 2 major hits and actually some other hits too. James isn't bad, and also Quandre Sandridge 72 overall. That is pretty good. you just missed on the 2 edge rushers. And then at the end of the draft, getting a guy who's a 68 overall at the end isn't that bad. I just would love to know how good were all the quarterbacks. Is Colby McPherson, a 79 overall, lasted all the way to the second round, then a 72. So it was a 1 quarterback draft class, most definitely. But when it comes to best players in the draft, we have some of our guys up here, man. I'm not going to be mad at this at all. Denario Mitchell, hidden development, pick number 28, a zone guy, could play safety for us. What is his actual zone rating, though? Looking at it, 82 overall. He seems more like a free safety type. With the get rid of that. But with the preseason up and gone, Travion Henderson, good job from him running the football. But Ashton Genty, 5.2 yards per carry is criminal. If that's going to happen during the season, we may be in for a Boise State type run. But, in his life, that was 6 years ago. But sacks, Bailey's still got to get done. And yes, we did bring in Derek Brown, but I need to see who got released, who didn't make a roster, because that's going to be our first thing. Will we pick up anybody? This is why we always like to save money going forward, as I just want a big name to be here. But not any names, if we could have somebody load. Thank you, EA. The servers are slower than molasses in January, but going forward, please. Oh, we saw it for a second. But with cut day here, some decisions need to be made. And before we do make these decisions, I do want to check out some of the position battles, like one of them being Marlon Humphrey versus Trayvon Diggs. Who's going to get the nod there? That is one of the biggest questions. Preston Stone doing good. Cam Ward also doing good. But on the defensive side here, how did we do? Any big interceptions? And Denario Mitchell getting one in preseasons is huge. Randy Alexander, Trayvon Diggs, Cordero Flott also getting one. So maybe Humphrey is out, but I wanted to see if there's a winner between these two. But starting first at the quarterback spot, it's Deion Kirkman, who still can't make our roster. This time, though, not going to head down to the practice squad. We're going to go ahead and get rid of him. Halfback, though, we are deep, and Travion Henderson coming in is just mind-blowing to me. Ashton Genty running well, Henderson running well, and I do want to keep Jamar Robinson on the roster, so it's going to be Jalen Wright. He's going to be gone, but this is where we raise a lot of questions. The receiving core, what are going to do? 2 superstars have to make it. They want me to cut Christian Kirk and keep Rashad Bateman, but out of the 2, I think I'm going to remove Rashad Bateman, maybe, but also Rashid Shaheed, he's not going to make the roster. And Jalen Tolbert, I do want to keep him on. Sandridge is going to stay there. Chauncey Sheed, if we can get rid of Goodwell, and they want me to keep Travis Covington, it's not going to happen. I want to go for the best overall. Our goal is still to get to 90 overall as a roster. Christian Kirk, maybe a fringe guy there. We're going to look at the tight ends here. We got 4 on the roster. Left tackle, Kyle Campbell. I do really like him, and I want to keep him on the roster. But unfortunately, it's not going to work. The rest of the offensive line going through looks very good. Evan Cloud, sorry, you're gone. But now they want me to cut James, and I don't want to cut James. I'm going to leave him on the roster. Jeff Mueller, he's going to be sent down to the practice squad. But Tevin Jenkins, he is going to be removed. He's not going to make the cut here. And then defensive tackle is where things get interesting. We have a lot of guys on this roster. Maybe it's time we trade Dante Corleone or Braden Tomlinson. He will be gone. But before we look at the linebackers, Dante Corleone is gone. Traded for a 3rd and a 5th, and that's needed this year. Because remember, we got rid of our 2nd or our 3rd with 1 year left in this rebuild. We're almost there. I know they want me to cut Cordero Flott. I kind of do, but I kind of want to keep Tyler Armstead. I think we move him down. He's not going to get picked up by another team. If we roll just with the best players available, I think we'll find a success. Vereen, he is going to be moved down to the practice squad as well. And so 5 corners, 5 safeties, and they want me to get rid of Xavier Thomas and Aziz Olajari. We just need to get rid of one of them. And I'm sorry, Aziz is actually, we're going to move him over to left. No, it's not worth it. We just need to cut him. As Damian Perrine, we're going to move on. Hardesty, he's going to stay, and we are going to get rid of Aziz Ojolari. We still have a lot of cuts still to make in the middle linebacker spot. These guys are going to remain, but I guess we're going to get rid of Tolbert. Just to say, since we have 7 receivers, we need to cut it down to 5, especially if we're still running the Brock Bowers experiment over there. Looking at it here, it's going to be Mark Andrews and Brock Bowers still. And it's crazy here that they say Denario Mitchell doesn't meet our standards. No, he's going to be a fantastic safety for us. He's going to be a free safety above all free safeties for us, but we're going to need to make one more cut, and I hate to do this, but KJ Jefferson, you are going to be off the roster. But this is a weird one here. Anton Harrison, 80 overall, 27 years old, sitting here. Very easy pickup opportunity for us, and I think we are going to go ahead and make the move to bring him in. We have the money for it, but then again, Heading into these last free agencies, we need to make sure to be able to bring people back. But with cuts done, this is what our depth chart looks like. And I am very, very interested for it. We're going to move Kirk just in front of Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is going to be starting at tight end. Brock Bowers back up there. He's going to get playing time, as much playing time as we can go ahead and give him at wide receiver number 3. Doesn't allow him to place at tight end 1, but he's going to be playing slot receiver, so he's not any slot looks. Our offensive line looks good. Our running back in with Genty is more than good. Defensively, though, sitting, we do have Mitchell starting over Diggs. We have an injury to Bailey to start the season, so that's going to hinder us a little bit, but our defense is almost there. We don't have to re-sign a ton of people, but we just need a couple of these guys to upgrade it just a bit more, and we should be all good. And the specialist looks, this is our rush look, and yes, we did pick up Brown, and having him in for a $1.2 million is insane, but him and Bernard playing there at sub linebacker will be nice. Bernard, almost defensive player of the year in that position, in that role. It was very good for him. But our secondary across the board looks very good as we're going to start the sim. But 8 games into the season, we're sitting at 6-2, and we have a weekly award. I love that. That is going to be Bernard with 11 tackles, 1 sacks, and Freeman starting the season with 4 sacks. To see if we're in there at all. Again, no, we're not. Well, looking at Cam Ward right now, 19 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 81% completion percentage is crazy. And Ashton Genty, actually one of the best running backs in the league. You see it. A lot of guys not even over 500 rushing yards. So it's been a slow year running the football for a lot of these guys. It looks like 57 yards per carry will put you at one of the tops in the league. When it comes to receiving numbers here, Luther Burden down here, not in the picture for leading our team. But across the board, all these guys still playing very, very well. Isaac developing. But I see it here with Luther Burden. He's actually now a superstar, X Factor. So I guess he had some good games. It just didn't have some other good games. But still, 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 5, and then 3 for Mark Andrews. But Freeman leading our way in sacks. Donovan Ballard in the middle, 2. Spriggs. Finally, we're getting to the quarterback here a little bit in the interceptions-wise. Randy Alexander, French with 1. How has one of our top draft picks done here? Where is he at? Scrolling through. Dario Mitchell. Has he been playing a lot? He's a superstar development player, and so things are looking really good. And with Ballard, we have 3 upgrade points for him. We're going to put him all on run stopper. He's a beast in the middle. Maybe we put a little bit on power rush, but 6+ finesse moves is crazy. We don't need to put it on pass rush. If he can get the finesse moves from the run stopper upgrades too, as this is wild. He's turning into a beast for us in the middle. And so 4 superstars on our defense. We're 6-2. We're second in points per game. Our defense is pretty average, but these are the standings that we're going to be rolling with. And we went 1-1 against Kansas City already, so we're done playing them. So it's just a race to the end of the season. It's as simple as that. We're almost an 80 overall team. We have guys on statistical categories across the board. Bernard leading the way in tackles. Alexander with interceptions. Ward with passing touchdowns. So we're going to the end. We just have some re-signed guys along the way. $67 million in cap, and that's what I'm worried about here. 2 guys right now that we need to re-sign. Rasheed Walker, we can let him walk because Antonio Harrison would be much better to sign. We can finally let Mark Andrews go. But Colton Miller, too, we can let him walk. Dig. The rest of these guys, we can let a lot of these people walk. So with Rathman, we're going to offer him this 5-year deal. He's going to be with us long-term. That's what I want to do, build up this core long-term. Randy Alexander, you're a little bit older. So if we just try to do something like this, will he stay around? Better salary. But with Folds, he wants such a lot of money. And so we're going to go through and try to re-sign some of these guys here and really just push our sights on to the playoffs in our second to last year. But man, we did it again. We did it very well. 13-4 is the record that we did finish up with. So 6-2 to start the year and basically 7-2. Well, and exactly 7-2 to finish the year. So very good. 5,000 yards. I see it on the side there, with a first round playoff game. So we didn't get a bye at 13-4, which just made me a little bit mad, but wow, 300 yards a game, 44 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, rushing the ball. Genty, he has almost 1,000 yards. He's just been so consistent for us as Brock Bowers leading the way, 16 touchdowns to his name. Isaac getting over 1,000, Burden over 1,000, Andrews 1,158. But looks like Burden actually missed a game due to injury. But out of the defensive side, did we get to quarterbacks? For finally, we have a double-digit sack guy in Darian Freeman, 8 for Ballard, as Spriggs gets 7.5. Bailey gets 6. He struggled with injuries. I don't know if he played the full season. How many games? 13 games to his name. Sack every other game. Not too bad. Interceptions, 5 for Randy Alexander, 4 for French, 3 for Humphrey. Didn't expect Humphrey to get much playing time at all. Did Marlon Humphrey take away snaps from our young fella? No, Denario Mitchell played 900 snaps. He played a ton of snaps for us. He only had 44 tackles. Did have half a sack, though. So it just looked like Marlon Humphrey was a great pickup for us. He did play third. Oh, we played third corner sometimes. But James Pierce dominating sack numbers here. And now the interception numbers. Randy Alexander almost at first. Good thing we brought him back. We did end up re-signing him. But this is what was crazy to me. There's not a lot of 1,000-yard rushers as Nick Singleton up there. Former Penn Stater. We've got a couple Penn Staters on our own roster, but Genty finished up there in rushing numbers, but receiving. We're not going to have one top guy, but still. Brock Bowers up here as a tight end is very impressive. He's been the best tight end, as this is year number 5, or well, year number 6. But offensively, we finished first in the NFL, and defensively 7th. So finally, things are starting to click. But looking at yearly awards, Bryce Young won MVP. How? He snubs Cam Ward of the trophy there, and that's absolutely wild to me. Coach of the year, we don't even win that. We get snubbed by the Giants. Oh my goodness. How about offensive player of the year? Cam Ward is up there. We do have Brock Bowers making that list as well. Defensive player of the year, Darian Freeman making that list is insane. And he had actually 6 upgrade points. We were able to throw some upgrades on him. He's now up to a couple overall points. We'll check out that in a second. But defensive rookie of the year, we're not going to find our guy on there. On the offensive side, are we going to find anybody on there? No. But quarterback, Cam Ward. Running back, we are going to get on the list at number 7. Wide receiver, we do have Burden all the way down here. Maybe Isaac, I thought, could make the list. Well, this is awesome. Freeman making it at number 7. I didn't expect him to break out, but best linebacker. And if you know Giants franchise, Lander Barton getting there it's going to be now DB. And Randy Alexander, Jason French being 1 and 2. Or 2 and 3. That's exactly what I needed from them. But in the wild card facing the Colts, they're a scary team. Ross, one of the defensive tackles we want to draft earlier, he's superstar. He's an 85 overall. New quarterback who's been balling out for them and more. So we go to the sim, and Justin Reed kicking this one off as we drive down for an early touchdown, which is huge. But they turn around and get 3 of their own. Is this another drive? We just pass down the field on them easily here, but they strike and we turn around and throw a pick. Oh no, luckily enough, nothing happens. We still have the lead in this game. The Colts settle for another 3 here. We've completely stalled out. Finally, looks like we're getting things rolling here. Can we please punch this in? Good run by Ashton Genty, but we're in. And so we do have a little bit of a lead to play with. Setting the playoffs now. We just need to run out this clock, but it's 4th and 6, and we punt. And so the Colts sitting here now. This scares the ever-loving crap out of me. I'm so worried about it. Bailey rushing off the edge. We're going to get to the quarterback. No, it's a crosser open, and that's Alec Pierce. But they had to burn their last time out because of an injury, so that's huge. But we just have to hold them out of the end zone, and the clock is just not going to be on their side. Bernard in the middle. I love that. We're bringing blitz all over. They throw across. Good tackle. Rathman there is nice in the middle. That's superstar. Just no man-to-man coverage, please. Let's run some zone as they dump it off again. Rathman, another good hit. But it's going to be more pass attempts here. And we're continuing to blitz. Continue to bring pressure as we get to the quarterback. Ballard in the middle making that one happen. He's huge. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize how much of a unit he looks like. But Freeman in there as well. More pressure coming on. We're going to get to the quarterback this time. And we knock it down. 2 easy pass rushes. But Bailey, Friedman, Ballard's out now. We're bringing our rush look here. Quick up. We're bringing blitz, though. Is they're going to dump this one off short. 1 broken tackle. We rally. So 4th and 5. A trip to the next round of the playoffs is here. We haven't even looked at the playoff picture yet. It all matters if we win this game, and it's a sack. And that's a win from Spriggs. Spriggs getting in there, and we move on. But this is what the playoff bracket looks like. It's the Ravens. We have our game against them next. The Chiefs actually won the division. That's horrible there. But on the other side, Rams, Saints, Lions. But it's nice to see the Browns haven't made the playoffs once. If you remember, they took Quinn Ewers off the board and then another receiver, McMillan. So I think we're doing pretty good for ourselves. But against them, it's the sim. Again, we just need to watch this happen. A good drive starting out, but they go ahead and respond. So it's similar to last game here, except for now we do hold the Ravens to 3. Oh my goodness. They're going into halftime. We have a nice lead. And hopefully we can keep that lead here. We're doing a good job. Looks like sacking Lamar Jackson. A couple of sacks already for us today. But the 4th quarter, finally the Ravens go on a drive, put up points. But again, it's only 3 points. But this is where it gets close. This drive is huge here. We need to put up some sort of points. A touchdown would definitely seal the deal in this one. 1st and 10, trying to get our way in. But we run at the clock instead, so we still take it. 19-16. Only 1 touchdown for the Ravens. Our defense does the job. Our defense is very good. And to the AFC Championship game we go. But I wouldn't have it any other way as we go now to the following week. It's the Chiefs versus the Raiders. 1 versus 5. The Chiefs' record on the season, did they tie us? Or did they really put up 14 wins? That would be crazy. No, we both went 13-4. We split our series 1-1. This is it here. Look at it. We're the best offense, and we're one of the best defenses. Two best quarterbacks in the league. We got some of the best defenses in the league as well, and so it's going to be massive. Our defense against the Chiefs offense. That's really how this is going to work, but all we can do is go to the sim and hope the team we built works out. But in the sim, we put up an early 10 points, so thank goodness there. The fourth quarter is already over. We're playing with the lead, and we punch in another score. Can't ask for anything better than this. Is going into halftime. We punch in one more. We have a chance here to go to the Super Bowl 24-13. And no, it's not a fluke this time. The way everything's rolling, we're looking solid, but the Chiefs have the ball back. 4th and 13, though. They have to punt it away. We need some points up on the board. This drive is huge. We punt the ball away again. Chiefs are driving, and they punt the ball away. We just need some yards here. We need to run out this clock. 1st and 10, 2nd and 3, and that should be enough to run out the clock. No, we get stopped as we knee the ball down, and that's it. That's the end. We won. We're going to the Super Bowl. The AFC Championship game is ours. But look at the stats here. Cam Ward, 31 of 40, and running the ball. Genty, 38 yards. Receiving, Mark Andrews, good job there. Jordan Whittington, really, from out of Texas. That's an interesting one for the Chiefs. Makes sense, though. But looking at the lineup, Burden, the lesser receiver, all the way down here at the end. But look at the division of labor here between all the guys. And it could have been a Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward Super Bowl. That would have been awesome, but no. MVP Bryce Young balled out. That makes no sense to me. I don't even know how good he is at this point, but apparently that was just his perfect signing over there. And they have Puka Nacua, Frank Hunter, Trey Palmer. Not the best receiving core in the world here. How's their defense? Jared Verse and Brian Fisk, those two in the middle. But here's what the team's looking like. And Bryce Young up to a 92 overall. Wild. Crazy. But they have Jared Verse up to a 93. Emory Jones, a good draft pick there. And they did get some free agents like coming in out of Penn State. Also, they have some other veterans like Ward too. Overall, this team is very, very good. But when looking at the difference in the defense, I think our team is better. But their corner room is very, very good. Oafel's better. Even in the middle, Matt Hobbs, not better than our guy, but Jared Verse coming off the edge, he's better. This defense, this team may be better. Offensive line-wise, they are also really good. Cam Jurgens is the worst player there, and so they may match up against us absolutely perfectly. While our team's at 89 overall, we're actually better than them. Okay, so we're at a 92, so we are better just a little bit as Brian Kirkpatrick wins Rookie of the Year. Greg Beasley, Rookie of the Year over there. But it's here, finally the Super Bowl, the real rebuild. We got to this point, and we walk away with the Super Bowl win. That is the question, but we're going to the sim, getting this ball first. If we can drive down and punch in an early score, that is going to be huge, as you just settle for 3. But the Rams getting the ball, don't do anything. We get the ball back and driving again, and we do put in a score this time. Things are looking good, but no, the Rams do match. Now they have a score on the board, and they get another one thanks to a mistake here, and the Rams almost have the lead, but we get a goal line stop. And so the second half, now into the fourth quarter, it's tied 17-17. This drive is huge, but with 6 minutes left in the game, I do want to jump in. I want to watch. I want to see how we're going to do here. Cam Ward, X Factor across the middle. No, scrambling, sacked, breaking through, 1 sack, now going down, a loss of a whole lot. And so back to the 31-yard line, we have to go to work. And it's going to be tough, though, sitting. Now we got a lot of yards to pick up. That one knocked out, and this is not how I want to lose the Super Bowl because of that sack there. They're bringing pressure on 3rd and long as we do get the ball out. It's caught by Brock Bowers, who almost gets the first down. Do we go for it here? But we could also pin them deep. And that was actually Mark Andrews, but still the tight end duo working, but we do punt it away with AJ Cole. Our defense is going to have to step up. Is this pinned deep? No, out of the back of the end zone. And so now the Rams going on a drive here. Looks like they're just swallowed up, so they're going to have to punt it away. But Marlon Humphrey, what on the offense? And so they do punt it away. Ashton Genty with the run. And so now 400 yards of offense in this game. We just need to get into field goal range here. 2nd and 3, quick ball out to the outside. A great catch. But Genty in the backfield again here. I love this look. This is why I wanted the 2 tight ends. That's just so dangerous. Mark Andrews, Brock Bowers, the whole gang as that's knocked down. But we can run the football. We don't have to do anything crazy here. The 2-minute warning coming. They're going to motion out Ashton Genty. A quick pass, please. They are going to go out to Genty. Genty's going to try to get to the sideline. He's actually got a lot of yards, but it's an injury to Isaac, the second-year man superstar receiver for us, third-year man now. But going into this year, we do need to scout for another, and we have been scouting for another wide receiver to maybe replace, not him, but replace Mark Andrews, as now it's going to be a different receiver. And Christian Kirk, as that first down is picked up. But Cam Ward again here looking now, passes probably from here on out, no runs. Mark Andrews in motion underneath. We're going to go up the seam, and it's a catch from the big tight end. Mark Andrews having himself a game here, but now we are in field goal range, can run the football, just don't be dumb. We know the Rams are going to burn timeouts here. We just need to get a good run up the middle. We don't get anywhere from it, as I would try for another first down. Is what we need to do. Get another first down, but they're going to run it one more time as we clear a huge hole up the middle. Good run. But now the fullback, Collins, comes in. Jameer comes in as a power back as we're going to give it up the middle, and that's a first down. Now we can run out this clock. What a run there. And so Ashton Genty's now going to get another carry. We're just looking to jock down this clock. And so we're almost in field goal situation here. The clock can run down now from here. Probably that's the best decision than burn a timeout as the field goal is here. Clock running down in this game as it will be Brandon Aubrey in his last year with us because we have to re-sign him after this is up and good. And we win the Super Bowl. We did it. We rebuilt the Raiders. I thought it was maybe going to take 10 years. I thought maybe it was going to take 7 years, but we did it. Cam Ward, Ashton Genty, Luther Burden, Brock Bowers, an entire rebuilt offensive line. That defense is so good. And we finish it off with a massive Super Bowl win against the Rams and Bryce Young, which is crazy to me. Did we rebuild the Raiders? I think so. And that's going to be it. We're going to end this one early. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next.